Chapter 129. In fact, Xiaochen was quite curious too. He had thought that the young mistress was fooling around with Jean Beibei. But now that he heard it, it did not seem to be the case. Xiaochen, you are an idiot. When you wiped it, your spiritual energy leaked out and was directly absorbed by the cherries. Of course it's delicious. Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice echoed next to Xiaochen's ears. Everything in the world needs to absorb nutrients to grow. So does the cherries. They absorb the fertilizer in the soil and the carbon dioxide in the air. Nourished by the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, they can grow. However, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth here is sparse, and you have more in your hands. The cherries have just been picked, and they are still active. They can be absorbed by themselves. After a long time, you have to inject them into your body manually. That explains a lot. Xiaochen was enlightened. It was just like injecting spiritual energy into a dish when cooking. But how could he explain it to the young mistress? Xiaochen immediately felt a headache coming on. Maybe it's because I drink some expensive herbs every day, and my body is releasing the energy of the herbs. Xiaochen said briefly, I just cleaned the cherries for you and fed them to you. As you can see, I didn't add anything. That's true. Cheng Minjing nodded. She had been paying attention to Xiaochen's hands. Except for cleaning the cherries, he did not do anything else. We will pass by a fruit shop later. Go and buy some fruits. I'm going to try it out. Okay. Xiaochen nodded. Not far away from the villa area, there was a high-end fruit supermarket. It was open 24 hours a day and targeted at the customers in the rich area. The fruits in the supermarket were of the best quality, but the prices were relatively high. Xiaochen parked the car in front of the fruit supermarket. He was about to get off the car to buy some fruits when Cheng Minjing stopped him. Hey, here's your money. As she spoke, Cheng Minjing took out her wallet and gave it to Xiaochen directly. It seemed that she had built up her trust in Xiaochen and did not need to worry that Xiaochen would steal her money. No need, it's my treat, Xiaochen said with a smile. Recently, he had cheated a lot of money. Previously, Missy also gave the card that Chen Jinping gave her to Xiaochen. He didn't care about such a small amount of money to buy fruits at all. You have taken me in for so long. I should also repay you. Well, since you're so proactive, I'll give you a chance to repay me. Cheng Minjing nodded and put away her wallet. Xiaochen went to buy some cherries. The cherries here were cherries. They were not as red as the cherries at Beibei's house. Instead, they were dark purple. He also bought a few peaches and oranges. Seeing that there were still vegetables over there, Xiaochen also bought some. Of course, even if the price here was more expensive, it was only a few hundred yuan. For the current Xiaochen, it was really nothing. After buying things, Xiaochen returned to the car. Cheng Minjing couldn't wait to take out a cherry. She wiped it and quickly stuffed it into her mouth. The taste was not bad, but it was not as delicious as the cherries from before. Hey, can you feed me one to try? Cheng Minjing stopped Xiaochen from driving and said to him. Okay. Xiaochen picked up one and wiped it. He pondered for a while and injected a little primordial qi into it. Who knew how many days had passed since the cherries were picked? If they were not active and didn't absorb primordial qi, wouldn't it be exposed? After doing it, he stuffed it into Cheng Minjing's mouth and said, What about now? It's really different. Cheng Minjing looked at Xiaochen's hand in surprise. If it was in Beibei's house, there might be something wrong with the cherries, because Jean Beibei had done something to them. But if it was bought outside, there wouldn't be any problem. However, the taste was still very different. After thinking for a while, Cheng Minjing said, Why don't you wipe it and feed it to me directly? Missy, aren't you afraid of having a stomachache? Xiaochen said with a bitter smile. Then I'll wipe it myself and feed it to you. Cheng Minjing picked up a cherry and wiped it. Then she passed it to Xiaochen. This time, Xiaochen didn't wipe it, nor did he inject primordial qi into it. He directly fed it to Cheng Minjing. What about this time? It's not delicious. Cheng Minjing frowned. She finally believed Xiaochen's words. She looked at Xiaochen in surprise. You have this ability? You can sell fruits in the future. Forget it. Do I have to wipe them one by one before I sell them? Don't you think I'm tired? Xiaochen said with a bitter smile. Humph. You want to leave now? I won't let you go. Such a magical servant belongs to me, Chung Minjing. Humph. Chung Minjing said proudly. Okay. I'm not leaving. Xiaochen smiled. He didn't expect that he would be so qualified as a servant, that Missy was very satisfied with. In fact, Xiaochen felt that it was not bad to have a temporary place to stay. Here he could hide his strength, and didn't have to worry about being discovered. At least, Missy and Jean Bebe wouldn't tell them if they knew. But if he lived in other places, it would be hard to say. It was hard to guarantee that the Chung family, or the person suspected to be behind Chao Yuliang, wouldn't send someone to spy on him. If that happened, it wouldn't be fun. But now, he was living with Chung Minjing. Who dared to spy on him? You still have a conscience. Chung Minjing nodded in satisfaction. Feed me another cherry. Hurry up. Okay. Because Xiaochen had to drive, he quickly injected primordial energy into the bag of cherries by hand. It looked like he was wiping them. When he was done, he handed it to Chung Minjing. Okay. You can eat it. It should be delicious as well. Humph. Why didn't you think of this earlier? Are you trying to take advantage of me? Chung Minjing took the cherries and glared at Xiaochen. I wouldn't dare. I didn't think of this before, did I? Besides, you asked me to feed you. Xiaochen shrugged innocently. Humph. Chung Minjing ate the cherries and ignored Xiaochen. In fact, if Xiaochen said that he did it on purpose, the young lady might be a little happier. What she was most confused about was why she didn't attract Xiaochen. Although this guy respected her and treated her as the hostess, he had never treated her as a woman. Was he blind? Couldn't he see that she wasn't worse than Shen Jingxian, Kerlin, and Tang Tang? Humph. Sooner or later, I'll let you know how much you regret it when I dumped you. Xiaochen started the car and returned to the villa. When Xiaochen was about to take the medicine, the young lady threw the rest of the fruit in front of Xiaochen. Hey, help me process it. It's your honor. Okay, I'm very willing, dear young lady. Xiaochen took the fruit with a smile, injected some primordial qi into it, and then returned it to Chung Minjing. The young lady was satisfied and went upstairs with the fruit, while Xiaochen turned his head to drink the medicine. This medicine was bought by Xiaochen at a high price, so Xiaochen cherished it very much. He even drank the last drop of the medicine, and then began to exercise in the room. Although it was very late, the villa was a standalone building. Only Xiaochen lived on the first floor, so it wouldn't affect others. After exercising for more than an hour, Xiaochen released the heat in his dantian. It was very comfortable. He took a shower and practiced on the bed with peace of mind. However, after cultivating for a while, Xiaochen's phone rang. Xiaochen took a look, and it was actually Lu Jinming. After hesitating for a while, Xiaochen still picked up the phone. No matter how much I hate him, this kid will be stupid enough to send me money in a few days. Xiaochen had no reason to ignore this nouveau riche friend. Young Master Lu, it's so late. What's the matter with me? Asked Xiaochen. Xiaochen, it's like this. I want to ask, is the matter tonight resolved? Did Minjing say anything about me? Asked Lu Jinming. It turned out that this guy wanted to inquire about Chung Minjing's whereabouts. After the hero saved the beauty, he wanted to ask for the beauty's evaluation. Xiaochen thought about it and said, she didn't know what was going on before, but after my explanation, she finally understood what was going on. Her evaluation of you is okay, but you also know Chung Minjing's identity. It's impossible to move her at once with this ordinary level of hero saving the beauty. Yes, I understand, but this is also a good start. Today, thank you, Xiaochen, for helping to inform me. You can rest assured that I will definitely protect you in the future. In school, no one dares to do anything to you. Lu Jinming thought. It seems that I can't get rid of Xiaochen for the time being. It's also good to keep this kid to provide me with information on picking up girls. Then, let him live for 2 more days. And is there anything else? Asked Xiaochen. There is one more thing. Do you know where Chung Minjing eats in the morning? I rarely see her eating breakfast at school. I want to treat her to breakfast tomorrow morning. Let's strike while the iron is hot. Can you give me a suggestion? Lu Jinming revealed his purpose. He wanted to strike while the iron was hot. Today he had successfully saved the beauty. The next day, He naturally had to take the initiative to please Chung Minjing first, while she hadn't forgotten it. How can I give you a suggestion? How would I know what she is willing to eat? Xiao Chen said somewhat impatiently. Did Lu Jinming even know how to pick up girls or not? Xiao Chen was a little impatient. That's right. How about I treat her to breakfast tomorrow morning, and I will take you with me. You can give me some advice. Lu Jinming asked tentatively. Why do you take me with you if you treat her to breakfast? I have to go to sell fried dough sticks. Do you have something to say or not? If not, I'm hanging up. You don't want to pay me, and you still ask me so many questions. Xiao Chun was anxious to try the effect of the medicine, but Lu Jinming still didn't give up. Well, aren't you in a good relationship with Jean Beibei? How about I invite Chung Minjing to bring you and Jean Beibei? 2 pairs will be perfect. Otherwise, if I treat Chung Minjing to a meal alone, she will have to agree first. Lu Jinming said somewhat embarrassedly. Xiao Chun, rest assured. The money I promised you will not be small. It's only 200,000. I'll give it to you as soon as I have it. Chapter 130. Oh, then you can take Jean Beibei with you. I have to fry the deep-fried dough sticks. I don't have time. Xiao Chen said. Well, it was not that Lu Jinming did not want to take Jean Beibei with him, but if there was no one to restrain Jean Beibei, she would be a troublemaker. Then, how could he please Chung Minjing? He had asked Xiao Chen to restrain Jean Beibei. In Lu Jinming's opinion, Xiao Chen would definitely help him since he had accepted his fund to pick up girls. As long as Xiao Chen played with Jean Beibei, Lu Jinming would have a chance to be alone with Chung Minjing. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up, Xiao Chen said. Don't. Lu Jinming was immediately anxious. How about this? Xiao Chen, I'll treat them to deep-fried dough sticks tomorrow. Is that okay? I'll go to the morning street to find you. Whatever you want. Xiao Chen hung up the phone directly. He cursed idiot and turned off his phone. Then he began to cultivate. Nothing happened that night. Xiao Chen did not continue to make breakthroughs. Although he was a little disappointed, his restlessness also calmed down. The rapid breakthroughs made Xiao Chen feel that cultivation was much easier than martial arts. He had the strength equal to a warrior at the peak of level 3 of the inner force realm in just a few days. But now, the speed of cultivation had slowed down. Xiao Chen also gradually recognized the reality that there were not so many things in the world that could be reaped without sowing. Perhaps, the reason why he could cultivate so fast before was that he had built a good foundation over the years. But now, the foundation had been used up, and the speed had slowed down. At the first glimmer of dawn, Xiao Chun ended his cultivation and quickly rushed to the morning market street. A new day had begun. Xiao Chen, do you think that redhead from yesterday will come looking for trouble? Tang Tang was more or less worried. She had been in the morning street for a long time, and she had heard that some riders who had offended the gangsters were beaten to death after that. Not only did they lose a lot of money, but they also couldn't keep the stall anymore, and left the market gloomily. Different situations call for different actions. If he really comes looking for trouble, we won't be able to stop him. But we can't just let him trick us, right? Xiao Chen smiled indifferently and comforted her. Moreover, with our current skills, it's more than enough to open a breakfast shop. So what if we don't set up a stall? That's true. However, you as the chef must be involved. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it myself. Tang Tang said. You can't abandon me when the time comes. How could I not? You can't abandon a wife who has gone through hardships together, Xiao Chen joked. And this is what you said. Let's see if you bring me when the time comes. Tang Tang was also relieved. Otherwise, she would be worried all night last night. The two came to the morning street, set up the stall, and began the day's business. Because of the usual good taste, customers came to buy when the stall was just set up. However, what made Xiao Chen disappointed was that Lin didn't come to buy fried dough sticks today. To be honest, Xiao Chen still missed her. After leaving the school for so long, yesterday was the first time he saw her. But in that situation, they couldn't talk about the past. In fact, it wasn't that Lin didn't want to come. She said to her mother at the same time every day, Mom, do you want me to buy fried dough sticks? Buy what? Yesterday they helped us. How can we take advantage of them today? If we buy it at full price, who can afford it? Forget it. Mother Lin waved her hand and said, let's eat noodles today. Oh. Lin wanted to say that Xiao Chun would still sell it to her. But she didn't say it after thinking about it. Her mother didn't seem to like her and Xiao Chun. In fact, when Lin saw Xiao Chun, she was a little afraid. After all, Xiao Chun's previous image was deeply rooted in her heart. She was grateful to Xiao Chun, but she didn't dare to have a deep relationship with Xiao Chun. She was afraid that Xiao Chun would make that kind of unreasonable request. With this contradictory heart, Lin's idea was to hide as much as possible. I really miscalculated yesterday. Why did I tell that sister that my family sells noodles inside? If I didn't tell her, Xiao Chun wouldn't be able to find me, right? But then I would lose 100 yuan. I don't know if that red hair will come looking for trouble. He suffered such a big loss. I hope he doesn't come. Mother Lin frowned and was a little worried. He won't come, right? Although Lin said so, she was still worried about Xiao Chun. She wanted to see if he was okay, but she didn't have an excuse. So she was in a dilemma as she made noodles. Lin's mother was right. How could red hair not come after he suffered such a big loss? He had never suffered such a big loss before. After he went back, he found a few brothers and prepared to take revenge on Xiao Chun today. A smelly stall owner actually dared to humiliate me, red hair. I will kill you this time. Brother Red Hair, how are we going to deal with this little brat this time? Do we beat him up? Or do what we do every time, and extort some money from him? Asked one of Red Hair's underlings. Just beat him up. This kid has some kung fu. He's quite powerful. We have to outsmart him. Red Hair waved his hand and said, just like the last time we dealt with the wonton stall. Extort some money from him, and cause trouble every now and then. Make him scram. I'm annoyed when I see him. Understood. The guy with the back nodded, and the other two underlings also nodded. It wasn't the first time they did this kind of thing. Red Hair brought the three underlings to Xiao Chun's breakfast stall. Tang Tang's eyelids twitched slightly when she saw them entering the line, and began to line up. She pushed Xiao Chun and whispered, Xiao Chun, that red hair from yesterday is here again. Oh. Xiao Chun looked up, and found that red hair was actually lining up obediently. Although he was a little puzzled, he still nodded and said, ignore him first. Let's wait, and see what he wants to do. Tang Tang nodded, and continued to sell the youtiao. Not long after, it was Red Hair's and his underling's turn. Red Hair handed Tang Tang a 50 yuan bill and said, give me 4 bowls of tofu pudding and 20 youtiao. Tang Tang took the bill, and carefully examined it for a long time. She found that it was indeed a genuine bill. She couldn't help but wonder, is this Red Hair really here to eat today? Could it be that he still wants to eat today after eating yesterday? It was understandable if it was someone else. But Red Hair was almost killed by the chili yesterday. Yet he still wants to eat. Is this person addicted to spicy food? However, Tang Tang naturally couldn't drive the guests away. She gave them the money, and gave them the tofu pudding and youtiao. Red Hair took the tofu pudding and youtiao, and didn't say anything. He sat at the public table next to the morning market and ate. Xiao Chun, are they really here to eat? Tang Tang was a little doubtful. Who knows? Let's wait and see. Xiao Chun frowned. He always felt that this Red Hair didn't have any good intentions. However, since he didn't move now, Xiao Chun didn't bother to pay attention to him. After a while, Red Hair and his 3 underlings finished eating. Then they stood up and wanted to leave. Just when Tang Tang thought that they really came for breakfast, Red Hair's underling suddenly put his head behind his back, covered his stomach, squatted on the ground and screamed. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much. His back had a headache and his forehead was sweating. My stomach hurts too. What's going on? Another underling with a full beard also screamed and squatted on the ground. Ouch, mine is starting to hurt too. It hurts so much. The last underling, Bald Laoyang, also screamed. What's wrong with you guys? What's going on? Red Hair suddenly became anxious, but he just spoke halfway, and fell to the ground with his hands on his stomach. He wailed loudly, it hurts. It hurts so much. Why does my stomach hurt so much? Ouch. Brother Red Hair, it must be this breakfast stall that's not clean. There's something wrong with the breakfast. Otherwise, the four of us wouldn't have a stomachache at the same time. While talking, the guy with the back had already begun to roll on the ground. It hurts so much, it hurts so much. This youtiao stall is a black spot. It must be using moldy flour and gutter oil. And the tofu pudding made with inferior beans. It's all junk food. The bearded man also cried out. Yes, the black-hearted boss. It hurts so much. Bald Laoliang also began to roll on the ground. Everyone be careful. This breakfast stall sells black-hearted food. Don't eat it. If you eat it, you'll end up like me. Red Hair cried on the ground while moaning. The four men's loud cries suddenly attracted a lot of onlookers. Some people who came to buy fried dough sticks and soy milk also stopped what they were doing. They looked at Xiao Chen's breakfast stall with vigilance and disgust. Although Xiao Chen's fried dough sticks were delicious, in this world, there were many black-hearted bosses who could also make junk food delicious by adding some poppy shells. Looking at the miserable state of Red Hair and the others, they didn't dare to take the risk of buying Xiao Chen's fried dough sticks for the sake of gluttony. Xiao Chen looked at Red Hair and the others coldly. To be honest, Xiao Chen could totally beat them away. But that wasn't the solution. Some people who didn't know the truth might think that he was treating the victims violently. Tang Tang was a little anxious. She pointed at Red Hair and said angrily, "Don't slander us. Our fried dough sticks and soy milk are very reputable in this area. No one has ever had any problems with them. Why are you the only ones who have problems?" Shout. What? Your food is bad, and you're blaming us? Red Hair's face darkened. He sneered. You're lucky that you didn't eat bad people before. I didn't expect this fried dough stick stall to be so popular. But it's actually a black-hearted shop. Yeah, I even bought it for the elderly and children. Now I'm scared just thinking about it. Everyone don't buy it. Boycott them. Yeah, look at these two youngsters. Not only did they ignore the person who had problems with his food, but they also kept defending themselves. Do they have any conscience? What the hell? Yeah. Hurry up and send him to the hospital and compensate him. Chapter 131. The onlookers who didn't know the truth began to blame Xiao Chen and Tang Tang. Of course, there was also a man hired by Red Hair to fan the flames. Red Hair was overjoyed when he saw that the wind began to blow in his direction. This was his usual trick, and he had ruined a wonton stall. The stall owner not only paid him a lot of money, but also couldn't open his stall anymore. No one dared to eat his wonton anymore. Don't listen to them. I just ate a bowl of tofu pudding and 2 fried dough sticks, and nothing happened. And I've been eating here for many days, and nothing happened. Don't believe them. At this time, an old lady couldn't stand it anymore. She stood up and explained, Yesterday I saw this man. The old lady wanted to say that she was also there when Red Hair spent fake money yesterday. But before she could say it, she heard Red Hair yelling, Old lady, you're so old, and your stomach isn't functioning well. It's normal that you can't tell if it's poisonous or not. Don't meddle in it. Yes, she must be a man of the fried dough stick stall. Otherwise, why is she the only one who says she's fine? It hurts. Take me to the hospital. It hurts so much. Xiao Chen sighed and wanted to walk over to let the old lady finish her words. He didn't believe that only the old lady had seen what happened yesterday. There must be others who had seen it, but they dared not to show their faces, however. Before he went over, suddenly, a loud and urgent car horn sounded behind the onlookers. Beep, 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 beep. People in the front, get out of the way. I don't care if you're killed. After the horn sounded, the loudspeaker shouted, accompanied by the roar of the engine, which made the onlookers hide aside subconsciously. Those who dare to drive in the downtown area are not good people. Looking at the Land Rover Range Rover, it is a car worth more than 1 million renminbi, and it has the Song TNB001 plate. How can an ordinary person hang such a plate? How awesome was that? Early this morning, Lu Zhiming finally managed to ask Cheng Minjing out. Before, Cheng Minjing refused to go for breakfast. But later, she said that she was going to eat the fried dough sticks made by Xiao Chen. Therefore, under Jean Beibei's instigation, she followed him here. But, as soon as he entered the morning market street, there was a traffic jam. Lu Zhenming had no choice but to honk the horn and drive forward. However, he was a young master of the underworld, and was used to being arrogant. He didn't care whether there was anyone in front of him or not. Although he inevitably scratched someone, those who were scratched saw Lu Zhenming's domineering car plate and arrogant posture, and knew that he was not to be trifled with. Therefore, they didn't do anything and just swallowed their anger. However, it was almost time for Xiao Chen's breakfast stall. In the end, a group of people gathered together for some unknown reason. This made Lu Zhenming even more annoyed. F***ck. It's not easy for me to treat my goddess to a meal. Can't you get out of my way? Finally, when these people got out of the way, when Lu Zhenming was about to drive, he saw 4 people rolling on the ground not far from his car. Lu Zhenming flew into a rage at once. He picked up the loudspeaker and shouted, F***ck you 4. Are you deaf? Get out of my way. It hurts, it hurts. This is a scam. This fried dough stick stall is a scam. Don't eat here. The red-haired man didn't care whether there was a car or not. He continued to roll on the ground. In his opinion, the car couldn't do anything to the patient, could it? Quickly send me to the hospital. I think I'm suffering from food poisoning. It's so hard and uncomfortable. The adulterous couple at this fried dough stick stall is a black-hearted boss. Lu Zhenming did not know what the people on the ground were wailing about, and he did not want to listen to them. He only wanted to go to Xiao Chen's place to eat fried dough sticks with Cheng Minjing. Seeing that Xiao Chen's stall was not far away, he suggested, how about we stop the car here and go for a walk? Lil Ming, you can't do it either. You're a young master from the underworld, and you can't even handle 4 hooligans. I don't feel safe eating with you. Cousin Minjing hates people who don't have guts the most. Jean Beibei curled her lips and mocked Lu Zhenming. Cheng Minjing glanced at Jean Beibei without saying a word. She naturally noticed what Jean Beibei noticed too, but Lu Zhenming did not. Is that so? Lu Zhenming was startled. Then he responded generously. Who said that I don't have guts? Just you wait. I'll show you what a young master from the underworld looks like. Oh, let me see then. But you don't look like you can do it. Jean Beibei was disdainful. You'll see if I can do it or not. Lu Zhenming picked up the megaphone and roared. F***ck you mother f***curs. Do you not understand human language or what? Get the hell out of here. Why would the red-haired man care about him? He was pretending to have a stomachache. If he left, how could he continue pretending? Therefore, he and his 3 hooligans were still rolling on the ground. Look, Lil Ming, they're ignoring you at all. Jean Beibei remarked. Just you wait. Lu Zhenming was infuriated. He got out of the car and pointed at the 4 hooligans on the ground. I'm warning you again. If you dare to block my way again, I'll run you over and kill you. It hurts, it hurts. Red Hair continued to wail like a ghost and howl like a wolf, ignoring Lu Zhenming's words. F***ck, you're really something. Who was Lu Zhenming? He was a young master from the underworld who killed without batting an eye. The red-haired man simply took out his phone and dialed a number. Teacher Lei, it's me. I'm at the morning market street, and I'm going to run over 4 idiots with my car. Help me prepare someone to take the blame. Bring me another 1 million yuan, and get a few fake witnesses. Okay, that's it. The red-haired man sneered and thought. Who doesn't know how to act cool and scare people? I'm good at it. You really have the guts to run over them? That said, Lu Zhenming would not spoil the red-haired man. He was most afraid of losing face in front of his goddess. Now the red-haired man had infuriated him. After jumping into the Land Rover, Lu Zhenming immediately started the car. With a roar of the accelerator, he sped towards the red-haired man and the other 3. Who was he, Lu Zhenming? If someone died, he had underlings to take the blame for him. What was there to be afraid of? The red-haired man saw Lu Zhenming get into the car from the corner of his eyes. He thought that he had admitted defeat, and was preparing to leave. Who knew that the next moment, the Land Rover's engine roared and charged at him. F***ck. Run. He was the closest to the car. At that moment, he didn't even have the thought of pretending to have a stomachache. He jumped up from the ground and dodged to the side. The other 3 underlings weren't idiots either. They had been at the bottom of society, so they had long trained themselves to be quick-witted. When they saw the Land Rover charge over, they got up from the ground and dodged to the side. However, the red-haired man was too close, so he staggered. At that moment, the red-haired man understood that he had met a ruthless person today. This kid really dared to run over them. Who was this person? However, the red-haired man didn't want to show weakness. He pointed at the Land Rover's tail and shouted, "You hit me. This isn't over. If you dare to run, I will remember your car plate number and say that you are a hit and run." GA. When the red-haired man saw the eye-catching MB001 plate on the Land Rover, he was instantly dumbfounded. He wasn't a person who didn't know the price. This plate was an auction plate. It couldn't be bought without a few $100,000. Moreover, to hang this plate so arrogantly, he must be a rich person. At that moment, he was a little scared. Maybe what Lu Jinming said was true. He really dared to run over them. "Brother Red Hair, let's go." The red-haired man could tell that Lu Jinming wasn't someone to be trifled with. His underlings naturally saw it too. They cautiously reminded the red-haired man, "And let's go." Although the red-haired man wasn't satisfied that he didn't manage to deal with Xiao Chen's Youtiao stall. If Lu Jinming turned around, and the people he found arrived, wouldn't he beat them up again? The red-haired man couldn't afford to provoke these rich and powerful people. "I say, red-haired man, didn't you have a stomachache? Why doesn't it hurt anymore?" Xiao Chen saw that the red-haired man was planning to leave, so he asked with a faint smile. I choked when we were eating just now. I'm fine now." "If there's nothing else, let's go." The red-haired man knew that he couldn't pretend anymore. "You said that your stomach still hurt. How did you stand up? You stood up for a long time, but you didn't lie down on the ground. This didn't make sense at all. Why are you in such a hurry to leave?" "I was planning to give you some money," Xiao Chen said with some regret. "Oh, you want to compensate me? All right, give it to me quickly." The red-haired man didn't expect that the matter was exposed. Xiao Chen would still compensate him. Wasn't he a fool? However, it didn't matter whether it was true or not. How could the red-haired man not take the free money? In his opinion, Xiao Chen must be afraid. Today a rich family's young master happened to help him out. Next time he wouldn't be so lucky. He was afraid that the red-haired man would find trouble with him again. So he planned to pay the money to avoid disaster. However, even if you take out the money today, I, the red-haired man, won't let you go so easily. I will definitely return the humiliation yesterday. I will take revenge until you leave this place and can't do business anymore. I'll give you 1 yuan. Thank you for your monkey performance just now. It was very exciting." As Xiao Chen spoke, he took out a yuan coin from his pocket and handed it to the red-haired man. "You." Redhead's face flushed red. Only then did he realize that he had been brushed off by Xiao Chen, together with his head of red hair. His head was like a big lantern fruit, fiery red. However, Xiao Chen's martial arts value was higher. Even if the red-haired man had 4 people, he didn't dare to casually attack Xiao Chen. Moreover, the rich family's young master hadn't left yet. If they were to fight and he joined in, it wouldn't be fun anymore. Thinking of this, the red-haired man could only snort coldly. He glared at Xiao Chen and scolded, "Just you wait." Then he quickly left with his 3 underlings. At this point, the people present finally understood that the red-haired man was a liar. He pretended to have a stomachache and wanted to extort people. In the end, he was accidentally bumped into by the rich family's young master. Chapter 132. Originally, Lu Jinming's arrogant act of killing someone, finding a scapegoat, and giving false evidence was indeed unpleasant. It was the typical style of a brainless rich second generation. But now, it seemed that evil people needed to be dealt with by evil people. Without Lu Jinming, how could red hair be seen through so easily? As a result, Xiao Chen's Youtiao stall once again recovered the scene of selling like hotcakes, and those who spoke up for Redhead before were now very ashamed at this time. They wanted to buy more Youtiao to make themselves feel better. Lu Jinming didn't know what happened to red hair, but he didn't care. Red hair was just a green-haired guy. What did it have to do with him? He found a place to park his car and walked to Xiao Chen. "Xiao Chen, I'm coming." Lu Jinming winked at Xiao Chen, wanting him to come and help to contain Jean Bebe. If you want to make trouble, give me 3 sets of youtiao and soy milk. Why are you winking? Pay up. Xiao Chun glared at Lu Jinming grumpily. But no matter what, this guy had helped him just now. Although Xiao Chun could solve it himself, it wouldn't work so quickly. Oh. Lu Jinming took out his wallet at once, took out a 100 yuan bill, and handed it to Xiao Chun. Can't you see I'm frying youtiao? I'm frying youtiao with my money-grubbing hand. Do you want to eat it? Xiao Chun said. Lu Jinming handed the money to Tang Tang at once. Don't you know how to line up? Can't you see there are so many people waiting? What are you thinking? Can't you be a gentleman in front of the goddess? Xiao Chun pointed at the people in the line opposite Tang Tang and said, okay. Lu Jinming took back the money resentfully and turned to line up. This action made the people in the queue click their tongues in wonder. Just now, they clearly saw how arrogant Lu Jinming was. This guy wanted to kill someone with his car. But now, he spoke to Xiao Chun in a pleasant manner. What ability did this deep-fried dough stick have to actually make him so respectful? Everyone was puzzled. You buy it first. However, Lu Jinming wanted to line up. How could the person at the front of the line dare to let Lu Jinming line up? The memory of this fellow's ruthlessness was still fresh in his mind. He didn't want to suffer this fellow's revenge after he finished his purchase. Therefore, he simply let Lu Jinming buy it first. Thank you. Lu Jinming nodded to the man politely, then gave the money to Tang Tang. The people in the back also saw Lu Jinming buy it, but no one dared to criticize him. Who would provoke such a fierce person? Xiao Chun glanced at him and didn't stop him. If he wanted to buy it, then let him do it. The others didn't say anything, and Xiao Chun didn't care. Lu Jinming bought the deep-fried dough sticks and soybean milk, then brought them to Cheng Minjing and Jean Bebe. At the same time, he kept winking at Xiao Chun, but Xiao Chun didn't pay attention to him at all. After all the customers in front of him were gone, Xiao Chun fried some more stock, then walked over and sat beside Lu Jinming. This was a table for 4 people. Lu Jinming sat on one side by himself, while Cheng Minjing and Jean Bebe sat on the other side. Xiao Chun, you're finally here. Lu Jinming looked at Xiao Chun gratefully, as if he had found his team. Before, he wanted to talk to Cheng Minjing while they were having breakfast together. However, Jean Bebe's mouth kept pouting, and Lu Jinming didn't have a chance to talk to Cheng Minjing at all. He didn't dare to interrupt Jean Bebe, so he had to sit aside and listen to them bitterly. However, the two of them were talking about the plots in the TV series. Lu Jinming couldn't understand them at all. He was really in the dark. He cursed the fishman too in his heart many times for the so-called campus belle's bodyguard. He couldn't even get a word in. However, Lu Jinming secretly remembered the fishman too's WeChat ID, Urine22, and planned to add it after he went back. Then he would do somersaults on the ground to ask for a minor role. How awesome would it be if he appeared in the novel or the TV series? By then, Cheng Minjing would definitely admire him. Chances were that she would fall in love with him immediately. Minjing Bebe, are you done? It's almost time for me to pack up and go to school, said Xiao Chun. Delicious. I want my cousin-in-law to feed me. After saying that, Jean Bebe glanced at Cheng Minjing complacently. Humph. Aren't you afraid that it's unhygienic to ask someone else to feed you? Cheng Minjing snorted and said in disdain. But she secretly said to herself, Xiao Chun, if you don't pick up the deep-fried dough sticks and put them in front of me, I will never be friends with you again. Hee. Jean Bebe glanced at Cheng Minjing with a faint smile, and then she opened her mouth wide. Xiao Chun knew that she wanted to eat deep-fried dough sticks. Therefore, he picked up a deep-fried dough stick, injected some of his spiritual energy into it, and then stuffed it into Jean Bebe's mouth. Xiao Chun knew that she wanted to eat deep-fried dough sticks. Therefore, he picked up a deep-fried dough stick, injected some of his spiritual energy into it, and then stuffed it into Jean Bebe's mouth. Here you are. Wow. Delicious. Delicious. Jean Bebe's mouth was covered with grease, and her eyes were narrowed into that of a kitten. She seemed to be very happy. Hey servant, bring one for me. Cheng Minjing was somewhat anxious. Judging from Jean Bebe's appearance, the deep-fried dough sticks seemed to be very delicious. Could it be that the deep-fried dough sticks that Xiaochen fed her tasted different from the ones that Xiaochen fried in batches? Servant. Lu Zhenming was a bit curious about the title, but he did not mind it. He said to Cheng Minjing, Minjing, do you want me to get one for you? No. I want Xiaochen the servant to get one for me, said Cheng Minjing. Fine. Xiaochen was speechless. His identity had been exposed. However, it was not a big deal. If Lu Zhenming wanted to pursue Cheng Minjing, as long as he went back to the Lu family and made some inquiries, he would know that he was Cheng Minjing's servant. Quack. Servant. Lu Zhenming looked at Xiaochen in surprise. Minjing, Xiaochen, what are you doing? Role-playing? It's nothing. I've been reduced to being Cheng Minjing's servant. The Cheng family hates me. Not only did they break off the engagement, they even asked me to be young Mrs. Servant for free. Otherwise they'll kill me. Xiaochen shrugged and said with a bitter expression. Oh, so, you are Cheng Minjing's servant now. Lu Zhenming reacted as if he had heard big news. Then you. It's so hard. I have to go back to serve Miss and Xiao at night. I haven't had enough sleep, so I have to sell breakfast in the morning market on my own. It's as hard as it can be. Xiaochen said with a bitter smile. D***men, so you two live together? Lu Zhenming was a little envious, jealous, and hateful. He wanted nothing more than to replace them. However, when he thought about it, it was not quite possible. The Cheng family did this to torture and take revenge on Xiaochen. He instantly understood the Cheng family's mindset. Killing a person is far less satisfying than torturing a person. Xiaochen is so bitter every day. Old Master Cheng probably enjoys it, right? Cheng Minjing also knew that she had said something wrong. She shouldn't have told Lu Zhenming about this kind of thing. If he knew, wouldn't he hate Xiaochen even more? What if he did something bad to Xiaochen? However, Xiaochen still had an indifferent expression. It's just a villa. There is a tenant upstairs. I live downstairs. Oh, Lu Zhenming thought it was reasonable. Cheng Minjing was Xiaochen's fiancée before. They didn't live together. Now they had become servants. How could there be anything ambiguous? Thinking of this, he immediately felt at ease, and his eyes even lit up. He patted Xiaochen on the shoulder and said, Haha, so you're Minjing's assistant. Sorry for not recognizing you. In the future, I'll have to ask young Master Xiao to help me out. Lu Zhenming thought further. He didn't believe that Xiaochen and Cheng Minjing could have any relationship. Besides, Xiaochen already had Tang Tang. How could he still be with Cheng Minjing? And Xiaochen was Cheng Minjing's servant. In that case, wouldn't it be easy for him to report the situation of the young lady to him? With such an insider, he could know the young lady's movements at any time. Would he worry about not being able to catch up with Cheng Minjing? Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming felt that he had to have a good relationship with Xiaochen in the future. Didn't you see the ministers in ancient times? They all tried their best to have a relationship with the people around the emperor. Even if it was a eunuch, it was still very powerful. I don't have time to help you. I'm too busy, and I have to sell fried dough sticks. Xiaochen shrugged. Didn't you see the unreconciled look of the red hair just now? Maybe he will come to trouble me again. I don't have time to care about your business. Damn, how dare he? If he comes again, you tell me. I will kill him. Lu Zhenming patted his chest and said, Xiaochen, don't worry. In the future, your business is my business. We are not related. Oh, thank you, Xiaochen said gratefully. Cheng Minjing was a little stunned. What is going on? After Lu Zhenming knew that Xiaochen lived with her, instead of hating Xiaochen, he began to please Xiaochen. Is this person sick? Picking up the fried dough stick that Xiaochen handed over, Cheng Minjing glanced at it. It was no different from the previous one. However, after taking a bite, she found that it was very delicious. It's really strange. Cherries can absorb the aura of medicinal herbs. Can the fried dough stick do the same? However, although the fried dough stick was delicious, Cheng Minjing's appetite was limited. It was different from fruit. If she ate too much, she would be stuffed to death. When she finished eating, they should also pack up and go to school. When Xiaochen closed the stall, there were still some fried dough sticks left. He hesitated and said to Tang Tang, Tang Tang, you go and send some to Kerlin. Lin. Tang Tang was stunned, and then she realized that it was the girl from Lin's shop in the market. She nodded and packed some fried dough sticks and soy milk in a plastic bag. She walked into the market, and Xiao Chun began to close the stall on the tricycle. Lin? Miss Tang's ears were sharp. She immediately heard Xiao Chun say Lin's name, and heard that he was going to send fried dough sticks to Lin. Miss Tang was a little unhappy. Chapter 133. Why was Lin in this market? No wonder Xiao Chun came here every day to set up a stall. It turned out that in addition to Tang Tang, there was also Lin, his little lover, here. Humph. You are blind. I am so beautiful at home, but you just look at me. You run out every morning to either play with Tang Tang or send food to your little lover. Her family has a stall in front selling beef noodles, Xiao Chun said. Oh, I heard that there is no beef at all in the beef noodles now. It is all blended with essence. Chung Minjing curled her lips. Xiao Chun didn't know how to answer this. Chung Minjing seemed to have some hostility to Lin. Was it because they were both campus belles? The young lady was a noble campus belle, and Lin was a commoner campus belle. Were they in the same school before? If Xiao Chun knew that the young lady didn't pay attention to his fiancée because he liked Lin before, he really didn't know what to say. She obviously didn't like him, but she still cared about these things? But Xiao Chun didn't know that sometimes a girl's heart was so strange. Chung Minjing didn't like Xiao Chun before, and she despised him very much. But because he was her fiancé, she was unhappy to see him chasing another girl. Tang Tang came to the Lin's noodles stall. At this moment, there were no customers. Lin was going to eat something by herself, and then go to school. She was going to make some noodles by herself. However, before she made the noodles, Tang Tang came over there. Sister Lin. Hey, sister, why are you here? Lin looked at Tang Tang with some surprise. I saw that you didn't come to buy fried dough sticks today, so I brought some for you. Tang Tang put the fried dough sticks and soy milk in front of Lin. Ah, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm a little busy at home today. Lin naturally couldn't say that her mother was afraid that she wouldn't be able to buy cheap fried dough sticks, so she didn't let her buy them. It doesn't matter. We are about to close the stall. There is nothing to do, so I brought it to you, said Tang Tang. Okay, how much is it? I'll pay you, Lin quickly asked. After all, Tang Tang had sent it to her, and it would be inappropriate for her to refuse. She would buy it even at the original price. I don't want money anymore. Tang Tang smiled and waved her hand. Anyway, we've closed the stall, and the extra ones can't be sold. You can have them. How can I accept this? Lin rubbed her hands together, not knowing what to do. It doesn't matter. Tang Tang lowered her voice and said, Xiao Chun asked me to send it. Hee. After that, Tang Tang turned around and left, leaving Sister Lin standing there in a daze. Did he send it to me? Why is he so good to me? He is already down and out, but he still remembers me. Could it be? Does he really like me? Lin was at a loss. Hey dead girl, hurry up and bring the fried dough sticks over. I didn't expect that the little fat girl just now was quite generous. She sent you fried dough sticks. Mother Lin was very happy. Today, I don't even have to spend money. I don't want money anymore. Then tomorrow, you have to give me some board noodles. Do you understand? Lin Dongliang said. We can't always take advantage of others. We still have to repay others. Yes, I know. Lin Kuo hurriedly nodded. Mother Lin felt that a few bowls of board noodles were nothing. It didn't matter if she gave it away. So she didn't say anything and sat down to eat the fried dough sticks. Lin ate the fried dough sticks in small bites. Suddenly, she felt that there was a feeling of love. No, Xiao Chun will definitely not pay attention to me, as Cinderella. His former fiancée is Chung Minjing. Lin stopped dreaming. Even if Xiao Chun is kicked out of the Xiao family, he can't accept the reality so quickly now. He must pity you because you don't have money. So he gave you the fried dough sticks. It must be like this. Tang Tang returned to the previous booth. Xiao Chun had packed up his things and got on the tricycle. Tang Tang just wanted to get on the tricycle, but Xiao Chun waved his hand and said, Tang Tang, you take young Master Lu's car to school today. You don't have to take such a detour. I will send things to the grocery store myself. Ah, can you do it? Tang Tang actually liked to be with Xiao Chun. She felt that taking a car was not as comfortable as walking to school with Xiao Chun. Okay, no problem. You can go back first, Xiao Chun said. Well, okay. Tang Tang did not refuse. After all, it was not good for her to refuse. If she insisted on being with Xiao Chun, it would not be good for others to think that she liked Xiao Chun. Although, Cheng Minjing, Jean Beibei, and Tang Tang got on Lu Zhiming's car. The Land Rover drove out of the morning market street, and Xiao Chun sent things back to the old lady's grocery store. Early this morning, the bulletin board of the Warrior Guild actually posted a notice from the Jean family, which meant that Xiao Chun would be a friend of the Jean family in the future. Although it was only a sentence, it made people's imagination run wild. How did Xiao Chun get involved with the Jean family? However, it was hard to see the relationship between the two from the notice alone. Xiao Chun was a friend of the Jean family. This friend could be very close, or it could be just an ordinary friend. However, it was just an ordinary friend. The Jean family did not need to spend so much money on advertising and go to the Warrior Guild to make this announcement. However, the advertisement didn't say much. Usually, this kind of announcement would say that so-and-so family and so-and-so family had reached an agreement, or that so-and-so family wanted to protect a certain person. If someone found trouble with that person, it would be considered an enemy of that family. However, Xiao Chun and the Jean clan had an indescribable strangeness to them. The clans that saw this could not make heads or tails of it. Kim family, Golden Fur Lion King, Jean Zonghai, and Jean Baobao's father, Jean Zongshan, were all sitting in Golden Fur Lion King's study. This announcement was made by Jean Zongshan himself. He didn't know the reason. Yesterday, he had just visited a family in another city and wanted to find a wife for Jean Baobao. Therefore, he didn't know what had happened in the Jean family yesterday. He had not even reached home when he was sent to the Warrior Guild by Golden Fur Lion King's phone call. Although he was equally confused, the Jean family's tradition had always been that old Master Jin's words carried enormous weight. Therefore, Jean Zongshan directly issued an announcement before returning to the Jean family. Father Yuan Xiaochen, what's going on? Jean Zongshan asked with a strange expression. You don't understand? Golden Fur Lion King laughed and said, I want Beibei to marry Xiao Chun. What? Jean Zongshan was stunned. Of course he knew who Xiao Chun was. He was a good-for-nothing young master, who had been driven out by the Xiao family and broken off his engagement with the Chung family. Why did old Jean want Beibei to marry a good-for-nothing young master, who was rejected by the Chung family and the Xiao family? What kind of idea was that? However, Jean Zonghai was a little silent. After thinking for a while, he said, Father, I understand your idea. But didn't you say that you don't want Beibei to be a sacrifice for the family's interests? If she doesn't want to marry Xiao Chun, do you think I'm blind? Let me tell you, if Beibei doesn't want it, I'll be the first to oppose it. But look at Beibei's attitude toward Xiao Chun. Didn't you notice anything? Golden Fur Lion King asked. This, Jean Zonghai had to admit that Jean Beibei and Xiao Chun's relationship was very good. But they might just be good friends. Should we ask for Beibei's opinion? Yesterday, I said that I wanted to give Xiao Chun a Jean Beibei. She didn't oppose it, did she? Golden Fur Lion King laughed and said, Don't you know your daughter well? If she didn't like him, she would have opposed it a long time ago. She wouldn't give face to me, her grandpa. That's true. Jean Zonghai thought for a moment. His father knew Jean Beibei better. The main problem right now is that even if we want to give Beibei to him, he might not want it. In my opinion, it seems that Xiao Chun is interested in Cheng Minjing. Golden Fur Lion King smacked his lips and said, Therefore, whatever we say now is just our wishful thinking. It might not come true. Father, second brother, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand anything? Jean Zongshan looked at Golden Fur Lion King and Jean Zonghai in confusion. Isn't that Xiao Chun a useless young master? Why does it sound like he is very awesome? Haha, he is more than awesome. He is the best. Golden Fur Lion King slapped his thigh and stood up excitedly. You know what? Your father's injury has been cured. What? Recovered? Jin Zongshan stood up abruptly. How? Didn't your sect have no way to cure that injury? It's not that there was no way. It's just that with my status back then, I couldn't get good treatment. Golden Fur Lion King sighed. However, it's true that many hospitals couldn't do anything. But since last night, I've said goodbye to my injury completely. Is it related to Xiaochen? Jin Zongshan wasn't stupid. Although he didn't want to believe it, old Master Jin had said so many things about Xiaochen. At this time, he mentioned his old injury. The result was self-evident when he put the two together. That's right. Although Xiaochen is a good-for-nothing in the path of martial arts, it's precisely because he's a good-for-nothing in the path of martial arts that he's been studying medicine since he was young. He wants to solve the problems of his body. I didn't expect his attainments in the path of medicine to have already reached the pinnacle. My injuries were treated by him. Golden Fur Lion King nodded and said seriously, You should know very well what medical attainment means, right? Of course I understand. Jin Zongshan's expression froze. He took a deep breath and said with some doubts, But why didn't the Xiao family discover it before? Or why didn't the Qing family know about it? If they knew, would they give up on Xiaochen? They would have fought for him long ago, right? Chapter 134. I was a little puzzled before, Jin Zonghai said at this time, but it is an indisputable fact that my father has recovered from his injury. So in my opinion, it should be because Xiaochen's reputation as a useless young master was too famous. He studied medicine, but the two families didn't take it seriously. Moreover, no one asked him to treat them. So the two families had no idea how good Xiaochen was. At present, this is the reason that makes more sense. You are right. It is indeed so. As the saying goes, it is darkest under the light. Under their eyes, Xiaochen's shortcoming of being a useless person was magnified infinitely, but no one discovered his advantage of medical skills. After hearing that, Jin Zongshan nodded in agreement. Father, in this case, this Xiaochen is really a talent. If he can join our Jin family, he will be the most powerful helper of our Jin family. That's right. This is also the reason why I asked you to make the announcement. Golden Fur Lion King said. How can icing on the cake be more important than providing timely help? Now, Xiaochen is a thorn in the Chung family's side. We made the announcement. At least, the Chung family dare not do anything to Xiaochen in the future. It can be considered as a small favor for us to help Xiaochen. That's true. At least the Chung family will stop here. Jin Zongshan agreed. But won't they suspect our purpose? Haha, we didn't make it clear. They may think that it is Jin Beibei's prank. Golden Fur Lion King said with a smile. In fact, after the announcement was made, all the families went back to study what was going on. Among them, the strangest was the Xiao family. At this moment, the Xiao family welcomed 3 guests. They were regular guests in the past, but now they were rare guests. The 3 of them were the head of the Chung family, Chung Tianqiu, and Chung Tianqiu's 2 sons, Chung Zhongming and Chung Zhongfan. The head of the Xiao family, Xiao Yuanshan, and Chung Tianqiu were sitting together on the main seats in the guest hall. Beside them was Xiao Yuanshan's son, Xiao Hai, and on the other side were Chung Zhongming and Chung Zhongfan. Brother-in-law, what brings you here all of a sudden? Xiao Yuanshan's gaze towards Chung Tianqiu was a little indifferent. The fate between our Xiao and Chung families has come to an end. You guys have mustered such a large force to come here today. It can't be that you are looking for trouble, right? My grandson has already been kicked out of the Xiao family. What more do you want? It could be seen that Xiao Yuanshan still had feelings for Xiaochen. If it wasn't because he had no other choice, he definitely wouldn't do this. But now, the Xiao family felt like the sun was setting in the west. The eldest son Xiaofeng was nowhere to be found. The entire Xiao family relied on the second son, Xiao Hai, to support them. And even if the Chung family lost their youngest son, they were still like the sun in the sky. Haha, Big Brother Zhao's words are wrong. Although Xiaofeng has already passed away, she is still your sworn sister. You will always be my big brother. Chung Tianqiu laughed. Alright, since that's the case, let's get down to business. Xiao Yuanshan rubbed his temples. This mess that came one after another really made him a little frustrated. I heard that the Jin family made an announcement that they have become friends with Xiao Chen? Cheng Tianxiu asked. He came to probe Xiao Yuanshan. He suspected that the Xiao family gave the Jin family some benefits to make the Jin family do this. I don't know. Since Xiao Chen is no longer a member of our Xiao family, then I haven't paid attention to what he does and who he interacts with for a long time. Xiao Yuanshan said indifferently. Moreover, isn't he working as a servant for Cheng Minjing? Why don't you just ask Cheng Minjing? Haha, it's okay. It seems that this matter has nothing to do with you. Cheng Tianxiu didn't ask anymore. In fact, he called Cheng Minjing in the morning and asked what was the relationship between Xiao Chen and the Jin family. Cheng Minjing's answer was that Xiao Chen and Jin Beibei were quite close, and the two of them were quite good friends. Therefore, the Cheng family had suspected that Jin Beibei was behind it. It was basically impossible for a descendant of another family to influence the decision of the family. It was impossible even for the descendant of the family, let alone a woman. However, the family structure of the Jin family was different from that of other families. Jin Beibei was deeply loved by Old Master Jin. Even Old Master Jin dared to hack the foreign playboy to death when he teased her, which explained a lot of things. Therefore, when Jin Beibei and Xiao Chen played together, it would be easy and pleasant to ask Old Master Jin to make an announcement for them, wouldn't it? Since it was not done by the Xiao family, Cheng Tianxiu didn't care too much about them. If Cheng Zhongfan hadn't mentioned it to him, he would have almost forgotten about Xiao Chen. He didn't care about his life or death. He came here today for another matter. Of course it doesn't matter. I wonder what brother-in-law has come for this time. Xiao Yuanshan asked indifferently. Haha, one more thing. Although Xiao Chen is the descendant of that B***starred Xiao Feng, he has been driven out of the Xiao family. The Cheng family and the Xiao family can't cut off our relationship because of this. We have always been in an alliance. Cheng Tianxiu said. What do you mean by that? Xiao Yuanshan didn't quite understand. Why did Cheng Tianxiu change from one moment to the next? What was his real purpose of coming here? Here's the thing. Zhongfan's son Ming Chang is 15 years old. In the past, he would be married and have children. However, in modern times, although we are all from families that practice ancient martial arts, we still have to abide by the rules of the secular world. However, we can get engaged first. Cheng Tianxiu said. I heard that Xiao Xiao hasn't found a husband yet? Brother Xiao, why don't we play matchmaker? Xiao Xiao. Xiao Yuanshan finally understood the purpose of Cheng Tianxiu's visit. However, he felt that this matter wasn't so simple. There was something strange about it. Although it sounded impeccable, thinking about it carefully, a good horse doesn't return to the grass. This Cheng family broke off the engagement with the Xiao family and came to find the Xiao family for a marriage alliance. Although the target was different, it was equivalent to slapping themselves in the face. This kind of thing, under normal circumstances, the Cheng family wouldn't do it. Why did this Cheng Tianxiu say it out loud? Actually, Cheng Tianxiu didn't want to come. He came here because of Cheng Mingxiang's request. Cheng Mingxiang was one of the more outstanding members of the Cheng family besides Cheng Zhongqian. Cheng Zhongqian's disappearance made Cheng Tianxiu sad, so he could only transfer his energy to Cheng Mingxiang. In the past, although this third-generation descendant was outstanding, he wasn't as outstanding as Cheng Zhongqian. Therefore, once Cheng Zhongqian took over the position of the family head in the future, Cheng Zhongqian's future son could be trained to be the third-generation successor. Therefore Old Master Cheng wasn't so anxious. After all, if he trained Cheng Zhongqian and Cheng Mingxiang at the same time, there would definitely be problems. In the end, Cheng Zhongqian was only about 10 years older than Cheng Mingxiang. It wasn't realistic to let Cheng Mingxiang take over Cheng Zhongqian's position. When that time came, it would inevitably cause a situation of internal strife. Old Master Cheng wasn't stupid. Naturally, he didn't want to see this situation happen. Therefore, he didn't pay much attention to Cheng Mingxiang before. But now, he had to help Cheng Mingxiang take over. Otherwise, wouldn't the Cheng family have no successor? Therefore, after Cheng Mingqiang was confirmed to be the third-generation successor of the Cheng family, the Cheng family also had to choose a marriage partner for him. However, Cheng Mingqiang firmly expressed that he liked Xiao Xiao. Cheng Tianqiu had just said that all the cultivation resources of the Cheng family would be given to Cheng Mingqiang, so that he could grow up as soon as possible and become the pillar of the Cheng family. Therefore, he didn't want to reject Cheng Mingqiang's first request. Anyway, the Cheng family and the Xiao family had a good relationship in the past. It wasn't a big deal for them to get married again, but it would be a little embarrassing. However, when people lived to the age of old Master Cheng, those things like reputation and whatnot were not as important as family benefits. Reputation was something that young and vigorous masters fought for. Cheng Tianqiu was an old fox. For the sake of benefits, he could even be shameless. Yes, it's Xiao Xiao. Cheng Tianqiu nodded his head and said, "A fair and graceful lady is a gentleman's desire." After my family's Meng Chong saw Xiao Xiao, he was shocked. "So didn't I, your brother-in-law, thicken my face and come to ask for your hand in marriage? This matter is of great importance. Let me think about it and ask for Xiao Xiao's opinion." Xiao Yuanshan didn't immediately agree. He only expressed that he needed to think about it. Why do we still need to discuss this matter with Xiao Xiao? Parents' orders and matchmakers' words. As the elders, we only need to nod our heads. Cheng Tianqiu saw that Xiao Yuanshan didn't agree and instantly felt unhappy in his heart. The Cheng family was the head of the 9 families. To be able to get married with the Xiao family again was already giving the Xiao family enough face. But this Xiao Yuanshan still used all sorts of excuses to reject it. We didn't discuss it in the past. In the end, Chinner's marriage didn't go so smoothly. A dignified fiancé has become a servant. Alas, Xiao Yuanshan sighed. That's why I said that there's a risk in a marriage alliance. You need to be careful when nodding your head. Cheng Tianqiu's face darkened. He was just about to flare up when Cheng Zhongfan hurriedly pulled on Cheng Tianqiu's arm. If he really flamed up, there would basically be no room for negotiation. Cheng Zhongfan didn't want that to happen. He hurriedly said, "Father, Uncle Xiao is right. We should consider it." Okay. Cheng Tianqiu took a deep breath, and then he said to Xiao Yuanshan, "Big brother Xiao, think about it properly and give me an answer as soon as possible. Even you know that Meng Chong is the third-generation successor of the Cheng clan, so there are plenty of people who can help him with matchmaking." "All right, I'll consider it carefully." Xiao Yuanshan nodded. "Since it's like that, then we'll be taking our leave." Cheng Tianqiu brought Cheng Zhongming, who hadn't said a word from the beginning, and left the Xiao family with Cheng Mingqiang's father, Cheng Zhongfan. "Xiao Hai." After they left, Xiao Yuanshan looked at Xiao Hai and said, "Tell me, what does Cheng Tianqiu want?" "Want? What?" Xiao Hai was stunned. "Isn't he here to propose marriage?" Chapter 135. The marriage proposal is not bad, but this matter isn't that simple. Xiao Yuanshan frowned. "I still can't figure out the Cheng family's thoughts. I'll just take it one step at a time. If the Cheng family's Cheng Mengqiang marries Xiao Xiao, then we can plead for Xiao Chen to return home. Xiao Hai, what do you think?" Xiao Yuanshan asked word by word. "Me." Xiao Hai was stunned. Looking at his father's aggressive gaze, he immediately knew that his father had misunderstood him, bitterly smiled and said, "Dad, it's been so many years. I haven't thought about fighting for the family head position. In the past, I was young and didn't want to admit defeat. I felt that I wouldn't lose to my big brother. But now, I'll just do business honestly." "But, father, you mean?" Xiao Yuanshan nodded noncommittally. "I heard that before Xiao Chen became Cheng Minjing's servant, you went to see Cheng Zhongming." Xiao Hai's heart trembled. He didn't think that his father would know about this matter. But Xiao Hai was a bit puzzled. Back then when Xiao Chen was chased out of the Xiao family, the person who was the most determined was Xiao Yuanshan. But from Xiao Yuanshan's actions today, it seemed that he had the intention of protecting Xiao Chen. Then, did his father still care about Xiao Chen? Or was he already disappointed in him? "Please forgive me, father." Xiao Chen lowered his head and said, "When I was young, although I quarreled with Big Brother, I always treated Xiao Chen as my own. Because of this matter, Xiao Xiao and I quarreled many times. It was indeed me who found Cheng Zhongming to give Xiao Chen a temporary place to stay. So back then in the tea house, the well-dressed man was Xiao Hai. Xiao Chen had really misunderstood him. You've done well. Xiao Yuanshan nodded indifferently. Your big brother has gone missing. Chen'er is no longer a member of the Xiao family. I will find a suitable opportunity to announce that you are the successor of the family head. What? Xiao Hai was instantly stunned. He didn't think that Xiao Yuanshan would say such a thing after talking for so long, causing him to be at a loss. Father, I never thought of becoming the patriarch. I know, but Xiao family, only you are left. Xiao Yuanshan waved his hand, interrupting Xiao Hai's words. My son, I can still see clearly, not like Cheng Tianxiu, that old fool, thinking that he is old and wise, but actually he is already old. Oh, father, you mean? Xiao Hai was stunned. I'm not sure. Old people tend to be paranoid. I hope it's just my imagination. Xiao Yuanshan didn't continue, but changed the topic. Chen'er, what's going on with the Jin family? I'm not sure about that. I was just about to investigate when the Cheng family came. Xiao Hai said honestly. Okay, go and investigate it immediately, then write back to me. Xiao Yuanshan ordered. Yes. Xiao Hai hurriedly nodded, and walked out of the room to investigate. Xiao Yuanshan, who was originally full of energy, suddenly slumped on the chair. He stretched out his left hand, flipped open his sleeve, and looked at the shocking black line on his wrist. He sighed dejectedly. The poison has risen another step, and I don't know when it entered the heart. With my strength, I can slow down the spread of the poison, but I can't completely stop it. My son Xiao Feng has gone missing, and my grandson Xiao Chen has been chased out of the Xiao family. Does the heavens want my Xiao family to die, or? Xiao Yuanshan closed his eyes and fell into deep thought. A young man with a somewhat sinister expression sat in an RV. He was currently holding onto a phone and listening to the angry roar on the other side of the phone. Why isn't Xiao Chen dead yet? Do you know how to do things? Let me tell you, I can raise you up, and similarly, I can raise others up. If I haven't heard news of Xiao Chen's death in these few days, then you know the consequences. I understand, please don't worry. I will definitely send Xiao Chen on his way as soon as possible. The young man's tone and his expression were inversely proportional, even if his expression was already extremely angry. But his current tone was still so respectful and apologetic. There was no other way. His fate had long been linked with the other party, and he had too many blackmail points in the other party's hands. Moreover, in the future, he would also need to rely on the other party's support, because the other party's offer was simply too tempting, making him unable to reject. The other party didn't say anything else, and hung up the phone, making the young man a little depressed. But he still quickly adjusted his emotions and walked out of the RV. Young master, you don't need me to send you? The man who looked like a butler asked carefully. No need, I'll drive myself. The young man waved his hand, and without turning his head, he walked towards an Audi A8L. Since the Cheng family and the Xiao family had seen the announcement, the Chao family and the Chen family naturally saw it too. Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping got together as soon as they got the news. Brother Liang, what the hell is the Jin family doing? Chen Jinping hated Xiao Chen to death now. Because of Xiao Chen, the relationship between him and Xin Jingxian had become tense, and Xin Jingxian hadn't gone on a date with him since then. Seeing Chao Yuliang get out of an Audi, Chen Jinping hurriedly went up to him and said, I feel that Jin Beibei can get together with Xiao Chen? Chao Yuliang did not suspect that there was anything going on between Xiao Chen and Cheng Minjing. What he suspected most was Jin Beibei. Since the last time they went out together, Chao Yuliang had discovered that the relationship between Jin Beibei and Xiao Chen was not ordinary. Had Jin Beibei fallen in love with Xiao Chen? Now that he thought about it, it was quite possible. Otherwise, with Jin Beibei's character, how could she not have cheated Xiao Chen? How was that possible? Besides, the children of other noble families could not decide their own marriage, but Jin Beibei was different. Jean Bebe was the apple of the gold fur Lion King's eye. If she said that she liked Xiao Chun, whether or not Xiao Chun was a good-for-nothing, the gold fur Lion King would probably not care at all. The more he thought about it, the more likely it seemed. Qiao Yuliang's face became even more awful. Could it be that Xiao Chun was going to make a comeback again? That was absolutely impossible. Honestly speaking, I'm not so sure about that. Chen Jinping nodded in agreement. Although Jean Bebe is weird and mischievous, that is only for us. She is quite nice to Xiao Chun. If Jean Bebe's shortcomings are ignored, Jean Bebe is also very nice to her. She has a youthful face and a sexy body. She is a dream goddess for everybody. Now that Xiao Chun is under the protection of the Jean family, we cannot mess with him blatantly. Qiao Yuliang sighed. That won't do. Brother Liang, we have to figure something out. Xiao Chun is too arrogant. Not only did he cheat us of so much money last time, but his tone was also quite aggressive. He did not respect you at all, Brother Liang. We cannot let him go so easily. Thinking that Xiao Chun and Jean Bebe might be in cahoots, Chen Jinping hated Xiao Chun even more. That was two cars. If we don't let him go easily, what else can we do? It's not like we can kill him in secret, right? Qiao Yuliang said casually, but he was secretly amused. If you don't say it, it will be too abrupt if I say that I will kill Xiao Chun directly. In such a case, you want to kill Xiao Chun too. Then we will be in the same boat. Although it seemed that Qiao Yuliang had taken in Chen Jinping, who used to be Xiao Chun's lackey, to piss off Xiao Chun, was he not taking advantage of him too? Qiao Yuliang was a man who knew how to be patient. He was also very ambitious, which could be seen from the capability that he had been concealing. Xiao Chen's capability was not concealing, but something that he had just gained. Qiao Yuliang, on the other hand, was an expert at the peak of the third level of internal force. Yes, we have to kill Xiao Chen first. Chen Jinping nodded in agreement after hearing that. Otherwise, if the guy really hooks up with Jean Bebe, won't we be killed by them? Brother Liang, you know what kind of person Jean Bebe is, don't you? Yes, you're right. After Xiao Chun makes a comeback, he will certainly not let go of us. Qiao Yuliang nodded and said, however, the Jean family is now protecting him. What can we do? If we can't kill him directly, we can take a roundabout route. Chen Jinping thought for a moment and said, Xiao Chun is arrogant and greedy. We can cater to his interests. For example, we can ask him to race a car and create an accident during the race. Or we can gamble with money and then bet our lives with him. Well, the two methods that you mentioned are indeed feasible. Qiao Yuliang's eyes shone after hearing that. This Chen Jinping was not a complete idiot after all. He was rather smart. Other things aside, Xiao Chen's greed for money was obvious to all. Even if he and Jean Bebe got together, Jean Bebe was just as greedy. More importantly, the Jean family did not have much money either. If Xiao Chen wanted money, he would have to resort to other methods. Therefore, Qiao Yuliang felt that as long as he played the trick well and used money as the bait, Xiao Chen would definitely be fooled. Is that so? Brother Liang, you think it's feasible too? Chen Jinping was totally talking nonsense. He liked racing and gambling, so he used the trick without thinking. He did not expect that Qiao Yuliang would really agree with him. It's feasible. Qiao Yuliang nodded and said, you used to work for Xiao Chen. Tell me, does Xiao Chen like racing or gambling? Well, I think he likes both a little, but he is not too addicted to them. Chen Jinping did not dare to lie. He could only tell the truth. But he usually plays with cars more. He used to have a Porsche 911, and he asked me to modify it for him. Fine. Let's race a car. Put a bigger prize on it so that he cannot refuse it. Qiao Yuliang was a little anxious. Anyway, he had to test whether the trick would work or not. Contact him later and ask for his opinion. Okay. Chen Jinping nodded quickly. If he agrees, what should we do? You don't have to worry about that. I'll arrange it. Qiao Yuliang was still worried about Chen Jinping. It would be fine if he got Chen Jinping to contact Xiao Chun. But if Chen Jinping really prepared these things, it would be terrible if he messed things up. Chapter 136. When Xiao Chun returned to school, Lu Zhenming had already arrived. Glancing at the Land Rover in the parking lot, Xiao Chun was about to go to the teaching building when another Land Rover roared past Xiao Chun. If it weren't for Xiao Chun's quick reaction as a cultivator, he would have almost scratched the rearview mirror. Looking at the Land Rover braking beautifully and stopping in the parking lot, Xiao Chun frowned slightly. This was Qi Zhigao's car, and his sister Xiao Xiao was also sitting in the car. If it were any other time, Xiao Chun might go over and beat him up again. Anyway, he had Lu Zhenming and Yu Xiaochuan to back him up. What was there to be afraid of? However, Xiao Xiao was also there, which made Xiao Chun sigh in the end. His cousin had a good relationship with Xiao Chun when they were young. He didn't know when it started, but after Xiao Chun was called a useless young master and a playboy, Xiao Xiao gradually drifted away from him. However, regardless of whether Xiao Xiao hated him or not, Xiao Chun decided to forget it. In Xiao Chun's heart, Xiao Xiao was still the little girl who followed him all day and asked him to take her out to play. The sister who only knew how to sweetly call him brother. Although Xiao Chun was no longer a member of the Xiao family, this inseparable family affection still made Xiao Chun not find trouble with Qi Zhigao again. However, he didn't find trouble with Qi Zhigao, but Qi Zhigao found trouble with him. Isn't this young Master Xiao Chun? Qi Zhigao jumped out of the car and looked at Xiao Chun sarcastically. What's the matter? Without young Master Xiaochuan to back you up today, are you a coward? Xiao Chun looked at Qi Zhigao coldly. Today, Qi Zhigao didn't cross his bottom line, so Xiao Chun was too lazy to care about him. What? Want to leave? Stop right there. Qi Zhigao was quite aggrieved 2 days ago. Not only was he beaten by Xiao Chun, but his car was also smashed. Although Yu Xiaochuan helped to mediate, when Qi Zhigao saw Xiao Chun again, he was still furious. Did you forget the pain after the scar healed? Xiao Chun stopped and looked at Qi Zhigao coldly. Ha 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 ha. After Qi Zhigao heard this, he suddenly laughed crazily. Xiao Xiao, did you hear what your useless brother said? You're still acting tough in front of me at a time like this? Xiao Xiao got out of the car and frowned. However, she said, if you're willing to stoop to his level, you can stay here. I'm the speaker for the morning self-study session. I'll be leaving first. Hey, wait for me, I'll go too. Qi Zhigao's anger suddenly disappeared. He quickly followed Xiao Xiao and ran toward the direction of the middle school department. However, before he left, he didn't forget to stare at Xiao Chun. In fact, with Xiao Chun's strength, Qi Zhigao's stage 3 inner force was nothing to be afraid of. It was just that Xiao Chun was too lazy to care about him. Anyway, Xiao Xiao seemed to have a good impression of Qi Zhigao. At least she didn't reject him. It was hard to say whether the two of them would end up together. Xiao Chun didn't want to embarrass Xiao Xiao too much. Walking in the direction of the teaching building, Xiao Chun's phone rang. He picked up the phone and saw that it was actually Chen Jinping. Little Peng, what's up? By the way, is Chao Yuliang okay? He's not dead, right? Xiao Chun picked up the phone. Brother Liang is fine. Chen Jinping coughed twice and said, well, young Master Xiao, do you look like you're short of money? Oh, how do you know? What's the matter? Is there any activity that requires my appearance fee? Xiao Chun asked. The only topic that he could talk about with Chen Jinping was money. As for whether the mastermind behind the scenes was Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinping probably didn't know. Chao Yuliang was such a patient person that it was impossible for him to tell his affairs to a fool like Chen Jinping. Although he got a total of 1.9 million yuan from the underground competition that day, the appearance fee given by Chen Jinping and the tip given by Miss Xiao totaled 350,000 yuan. And he spent 500,000 yuan on medicine. He still had 1.75 million yuan left. It seemed to be a lot, but who knew whether the price of medicine would increase next time? If the price increased, it was uncertain whether the money would be enough to buy a medicine. Cultivation really burned money. Ah, haha, yes, there is indeed an appearance fee. Chen Jinping was really afraid that Xiao Chun wasn't short of money. Now it seemed that Xiao Chun was still a poor man who was greedy for money. This is the case. Bolong Mountain Road has recently started to hold an underground racing competition. Have you forgotten that we won money in the past? Oh, it seems so. Xiao Chun nodded after listening. but he asked calmly, "What does that have to do with me?" "Xiaochen, didn't you just get a Porsche 991 from me? You could win the previous 911. Now you can win even more," Chen Jinping said. "Are you going to participate in the competition? Should I help you sign up? Are you addicted to being my underling? Now you still want to help me sign up?" Xiaochen was baffled. Does Chen Jinping have nothing better to do? He actually has the mind to care about this kind of thing. It was true that many of Xiaochen's things were done by Chen Jinping in the past, but now Chen Jinping was so active. It would be strange if there was no problem. As for that race, it was a complete fluke. The driver's car broke down, so Xiaochen won. Of course, with Xiaochen's arrogant performance at the time, he must have deliberately ignored this external factor. Haha, yet you don't say. I'm a bit of a masochist. I like to be someone else's underling. If I don't do it, I will feel bad, Chen Jinping said. How about it, Xiaochen? Do you want to earn some extra money? When? Let me think about it, said Xiaochen. Tomorrow night, said Chen Jinping. Okay, I'll call you when I think about it. In fact, Xiaochen didn't have to participate in this kind of racing competition, because the money won in a race wasn't much. It was only 200,000 yuan. The risk was quite high. However, for the playboys who pursued excitement, these races were still very refreshing, so there were many people who went to race every night. The reason why Xiaochen agreed was that Chen Jinping's words were a bit strange. He said that he was used to being an underling, but it was simply bullsh*t. He was used to being an underling of Chao Yuliang. How could he come back to look for Xiaochen? Therefore, this matter was obvious. The reason why Chen Jinping looked for him was because of Chao Yuliang's instruction. Why did Chao Yuliang look for him? If he was really the behind-the-scenes manipulator, then there was only one purpose for him to find me, and that was to kill me. Xiaochen really didn't know how he had offended this guy. It was true that the two of them were at loggerheads in school, but it wasn't to the point where they were at each other's throats. Chao Yuliang had tried to kill him time and time again, so Xiaochen could only link him to his father's disappearance. Perhaps it was a series of conspiracies. Since he had already locked on the target, Xiaochen wanted to have more contact with Chao Yuliang. Only with more contact could he be sure that the behind-the-scenes manipulator was not him. If there was someone who wanted to kill him in the race, it would undoubtedly be Chao Yuliang. After hanging up the phone, Xiaochen walked into the teaching building, but he saw an acquaintance. It was Yu Xiaochuan, who he hadn't seen for a long time. Seeing Xiaochen, Yu Xiaochuan's face suddenly showed a smile. Young Master Xiao, how have you been? I heard from Lu Zi that you two have a good relationship recently. And, young Master Lu has been taking good care of me. Xiaochen nodded. That's good. You two are my good friends. It's best if you can get along well. Yu Xiaochuan was actually quite puzzled. He bumped into Lu Jinming this morning and wanted to talk to him about Xiaochen. He didn't expect Lu Jinming to say that he and Xiaochen had been getting along very well recently, and the two were already good friends. This made Yu Xiaochuan inexplicable. Didn't Lu Jinming hate Xiaochen so much that he couldn't wait to kill him immediately? However, since Lu Jinming and Xiaochen had a good relationship, Yu Xiaochuan was also relieved. Tang Fangbai, the old man, was an old fox. He didn't agree to break off the engagement, nor did he say that he wouldn't break off the engagement. He just dragged it on. It seemed that he wanted more benefits. Yu Xiaochuan planned to talk to him in a few days. At this critical moment, if Xiaochen was killed by Lu Jinming, then Tang Tang would fall into his hands again. By the way, Qi Zhigao seemed to be very unhappy with me this morning. Young Master Kun, I'm a little scared. Can he beat me up? Xiaochen said weakly. That can't be. If there's anything, you can find me or Lu Zi. In this school our words are still very useful. As for Qi Zhigao, I'll go and warn him. Yu Xiaochuan said quickly. Okay, then let's talk more, young Master Kun. Xiaochen waved his hand at him and turned around to enter the classroom. Yu Xiaochuan took a deep breath. This Xiaochen really took him as a troublemaker. However, he had to help him. After all, he wanted Xiaochen to live a long life. When Xiaochen entered the classroom, he saw Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei whispering something. He didn't care about it, but walked to Tang Tang and sat down beside her. In fact, what Xiaochen didn't know was that the eldest Miss and Jean Bebe were talking about him. Bebe, what's going on? Just now, my family called me and asked me about the relationship between Xiaochen and the Jean family. Why did your family announce in the Warriors Guild that Xiaochen is your family's friend? Cheng Minjing asked. Didn't Xiaochen say that he didn't want others to know his medical skills? I don't know. Maybe Grandpa is afraid that someone will bully my cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe said. Anyway, he didn't say that he has medical skills. It doesn't matter. It just so happens that some small fries dare not trouble my cousin-in-law anymore. Okay. Cheng Minjing was a little hesitant. Should she tell Grandpa the truth? If she told him, Grandpa would definitely find out how powerful Xiaochen was. At that time, as long as the Cheng family didn't pursue it, it would be reasonable for him to return to the Xiao family. However, did that mean that the engagement between him and her was going to be restored? For a moment, Cheng Minjing was a little worried. Chapter 137. However, after thinking about it, Xiaochen didn't say it himself. Why should I say it? If I tell the Cheng family that I have medical skills, Grandpa will definitely not treat me like this, right? At that time, it's not impossible for him to ask me to be his fiancée. It must be that he doesn't want it to be like this. Blind man. Bad guy. Bastard. I'm not that cheap to take the initiative to say it. Go to hell. Xiaochen sneezed. It seems that someone is talking about me. And it's most likely that Chen Jinping went to report to Chao Yuliang, right? They are probably discussing how to deal with me. Xiaochen sat on the seat. Zheng Xiaoquan turned around and looked at Xiaochen with a strange expression. Why are you looking at me like this? Xiaochen was a little scared by Zheng Xiaoquan's gaze. Is there something on my face? Xiaochen, what's going on with you and the Jean family? Zheng Xiaoquan asked suspiciously after a long time. Me and the Jean family? Xiaochen was shocked. Could it be that the news that Elder Jean was cured by me spread out? Although this may allow Xiaochen to have the possibility of returning to the Xiao family, Xiaochen didn't want to for the time being. He must investigate the mastermind behind the scenes and the real reason for his father's disappearance. How could a powerful martial artist disappear just like that, without any news at all? It was completely unreasonable. Yeah, this morning, the Jean family released a notice in the Warrior Guild, saying that you are a friend of the Jean family. Zheng Xiaoquan looked at Xiaochen's expression. I'm afraid that Xiaochen doesn't know about this? The Jean family is my friend? Xiaochen was stunned, and then he asked curiously. And then? There's no then. It's just a sentence without any rhyme or reason. That's why I asked you. What happened to you and the Jean family? Zheng Xiaoquan shrugged and said curiously. I don't even know about this. Who should I ask? Xiaochen was a little relieved. I just went to Jin's house to play for a while last night. Who knew it would be like this? It seemed that old Master Jin was a person who kept his promise. As for why he said that he was a friend of the Xiao family, perhaps it was because he was afraid that some people would target him, because he was kicked out of the Xiao family. With old Master Jin's relationship, under normal circumstances, no one would dare to do anything to him openly. Wait, if Zheng Xiaoquan knew about this, then it was impossible that Chen Jinping and Chao Yuliang didn't know about it. Why did they still want to race with me after receiving this news? Xiao Chen did not believe that Chen Jinping was really kind enough to remind him to go racing to make money. Although Xiao Chen's driving skills were not bad, it was basically impossible for him to win on a professional track. If there was no problem, Xiao Chen would not believe it himself. It was impossible for Chao Yuliang to scam him out of money. Chao Yuliang would not go through so much trouble to get Chen Jinping to race with him, just to scam him out of $200,000. There was no need to do so, unless he had nothing better to do. So with the Jin family's announcement, why did they still target him? Did Chao Yuliang have the courage to go against the Jin family? It seemed like Chen Jinping was so scared that he pissed his pants. Since it was unlikely, what if why not? Could it be that after Chao Yuliang saw the Jin family's announcement, he was so anxious to deal with me? Otherwise, why didn't he mention racing at dinner last night? But only this morning. The more he thought about it, the more likely it was. In this way, these things could be explained. Chao Yuliang saw the Jin family's announcement, so he wanted to kill me as soon as possible. Why? What benefits did the Jin family's announcement bring to me? Except that I might be able to turn over a new leaf and return to the Xiao family. It didn't seem to affect Chao Yuliang too much, right? Unless Chao Yuliang didn't want me to return to the Xiao family. Thinking of this possibility, Xiaochen could not help but nod secretly. So when I was kicked out of the Xiao family, Chao Yuliang should also be involved. What kind of role did he play? Did he fan the flames and provoke the relationship between the Xiao family and the Cheng family? Or, the disappearance of my father also had something to do with Chao Yuliang? However, Chao Yuliang was just a warrior at the peak of the third level of internal force. He was one of the best among the younger generation, but he was nothing among the warriors. How could he make such a big noise and make a master at the 8th level of internal force, Xiaofeng, and a master at the 7th level of internal force, Cheng Zhongqian, disappear? If Chao Yuliang really did it, Xiaochen had to wonder if he was also possessed by a powerful soul. Otherwise, how could he be so powerful? On the other hand, this incident made Xiaochen even more determined to go to Mountain Fighting Dragon the next day. Not for anything else, but to confirm if Chao Yuliang was that person. As long as he had a goal, it would be much easier in the future. What? That's it? Zheng Xiaoquan was a little puzzled after hearing it. Actually, it's that simple. Xiaochen nodded. Then, as if he suddenly recalled something, he said, "By the way, wasn't Jean Bei's car stolen at noon that day? I found it for her. Later, old Master Jean invited us to dinner and thanked me. Well, by the way, there's another thing." Zheng Xiaoquan remembered that Tang Tang, him, and Xiao Chun were going to have lunch at noon that day when they were called away by Jean Bei. However, he was a little surprised. "Did you find the car? How did you find it?" "That's easy," Xiao Chun said with a bitter smile. Jean Bei stole the car from Chen Jinping. Since it was lost, the biggest suspect was naturally Chen Jinping. I took them to Chen Jinping's house and found it. Puff! That explains a lot. It's that simple. Zheng Xiaoquan was greatly enlightened. That's probably it. I'm told that old Master Jean is a straightforward man. If he likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. If you make Jean Bei happy, he must think that you are a nice guy. So he did you a favor at little cost, so that you wouldn't be bullied again. However, it seems that Lu Zhiming hasn't been bothering you recently, has he? Yes, he wants me to help him chase Cheng Menjing, and he even gave me money. Xiaochen didn't hide this matter. It wasn't important anyway. What? Zheng Xiaoquan's eyes widened. You help Lu Zhiming chase Cheng Menjing? Is this for real? You agreed? Tang Tang had been listening. Hearing that Xiao Chun was going to help Lu Zhiming chase Cheng Menjing, she could not help but interject. Isn't she your goddess? How can you help him? Ha, you two are so serious. Xiao Chun could not help but laugh. I can't even chase her myself. How can I help him? If I really have that ability, I will chase her myself. Only an idiot like him will believe me. Ha 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 ha, that's what I said. Zheng Xiaoquan burst out laughing. That was true. If Xiao Chun could catch up, he would have already caught up. Would it be his turn to help him catch up? Tang Tang curled her lips and did not say anything. Nothing important happened that day. In the evening, Xiao Chun returned home. He still walked back. Cheng Menjing was sent back by Jean Bei. Their car was parked at the school in the morning. The first thing he did was to turn on the electric clay pot and begin to boil the medicine. Then he went to the kitchen to cook for the young lady. He bought a lot of vegetables in the fruit store yesterday, and they came in handy tonight. When he was cooking, he happened to meet Yi Xiaoya, who came downstairs. Seeing that Xiao Chun was cooking, she hesitated for a moment and walked over. She said, "Later, I will boil some medicine in the kitchen. Can you tell Cheng Menjing that you made it?" Oh, Xiao Chun was slightly stunned. My electric clay pot is broken. I didn't have time to buy a new one. If I boil the medicine in the kitchen, I'm afraid that your young lady will be busy, Yi Xiaoya said. Is that so? No problem. Give me the medicinal ingredients, and I'll brew it for you. Xiao Chen agreed readily. After all, when he did not have an electric clay pot, Yi Xiaoye lent him one. Even though she gave it to him, because of Jean Beibei, Xiao Chen still owed her a favor. In the past, Xiao Chen couldn't be any poorer, and the electric cooker was a huge expense. If it weren't for Yi Xiaoye, Xiao Chen wouldn't have found such a good thing. When had the previous young master Xiao ever heard of such a thing? It was even more impossible for the elder heaven ancestor to know about it. Therefore, if it were not for Yi Xiaoye, Xiao Chen would probably still be boiling medicine in the kitchen every day under the young lady's disdain. Well, okay. Yi Xiaoye wanted to boil it herself, but if Cheng Minjing saw it, it would be difficult to explain. Could she say that she helped Xiao Chen boil the medicine? Obviously it would be a lie. But you must boil it for 3 hours, no more and no less. Don't worry. I will keep an eye on it for you. Xiao Chen nodded and said, Thank you. Yi Xiaoye nodded, and put a bag of medicine on the counter next to Xiao Chen. Then she turned around and went upstairs. This girl was pretty and had a good figure, but she was too cold. Looking at Yi Xiaoye's back, Xiao Chen shook his head secretly. If Yi Xiaoye's character was a little better, he would definitely ask her about the bitter fruit. In that case, he would not have spent so much money on the herbs. However, Yi Xiaoye was so unapproachable that it was difficult for Xiao Chen to have any contact with her. After cooking, Xiao Chen put Yi Xiaoye's herbs into the clay pot. He adjusted the size of the flame and began to boil it slowly. Then, he used his phone to send a message to the young lady, asking her to come down to eat. After a while, he saw Cheng Minjing yawning and coming down from upstairs. You're sleeping. Xiao Chen looked at the young lady's face, which looked like a red apple. It was quite cute. He couldn't help but be slightly surprised. Cheng Minjing didn't sleep so early, right? And my body is a little uncomfortable. I fell asleep after lying down for a while. Cheng Minjing nodded and sat in front of the dining table. Uncomfortable? Xiao Chen looked at the young lady's weak look and asked quickly, Where are you uncomfortable? Chapter 138. It's nothing. Let's eat. Cheng Minjing shook her head. What's wrong? Don't forget that I'm a doctor. Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Why is the mist still hiding? Xiao Chen, why are you so annoying? Cheng Minjing finally lost her patience. Can't my relative come? You're a doctor. Can you drive her back? Relative? Xiao Chen was stunned. Someone came to this villa? He subconsciously raised his head and looked around. What relative? Someone you don't want to see. Is it the child of your second uncle? Xiao Chen knew that Cheng Minjing was the child of her second uncle, Cheng Mingxiang. He always had a very deep look, which was completely inconsistent with his age. Xiao Chen used to think that he deserved a beating. Cheng Minjing was going crazy. Can't this guy use his brain? Can't he understand? She stared at Xiao Chen and said fiercely, I'm on my period. Do you understand? Oh, no wonder you have such a big temper. Xiao Chen suddenly realized. It turned out to be this relative. Why? Do you dislike my temper? Cheng Minjing glared at Xiao Chen. How can that be? Xiao Chen smiled quickly. That's more like it. Cheng Minjing nodded, picked up the chopsticks and started eating. However, the delicious food made her temporarily forget her stomachache. After eating a few mouthfuls, Yi Xiaoye's medicine was boiling in the kitchen. There was a strong smell of medicine. Cheng Minjing couldn't help but wrinkle her nose. Xiao Chen, are you brewing medicine in the kitchen? Because the kitchen and the dining room were connected, the smell quickly spread over. And today's medicine needs to be brewed with fire. Xiao Chen nodded and carried it on his body. Oh, Cheng Minjing didn't say anything but continued to eat, which surprised Xiao Chen. In fact, Cheng Minjing didn't have any objection to Xiao Chen brewing medicine. She also hoped that Xiao Chen's body could get better and cultivate internal energy. After a period of contact, she felt that Xiao Chen wasn't that annoying in other aspects, except for being blind. Tomorrow will be fine. Today is the only day, Xiao Chen said. Nothing. Cheng Minjing shook her head. After taking a sip of water, she said, Oh right, I heard from my family that today, my grandfather went to propose marriage to Meng Chong. His partner is Xiao Xiao. When she said this, Cheng Minjing's feelings were a little complicated. It was an indescribable sense of loss. If the Cheng family and the Xiao family got married again, then perhaps Xiao Chen would return to the Xiao family again. But she would no longer have any relationship with him. It was impossible for a family to get married to another family twice in the same generation. It was unnecessary and a waste of resources. Originally, Cheng Minjing would be very happy if she could completely have nothing to do with Xiao Chen, right? However, after spending time with him, Cheng Minjing didn't want Xiao Chen to leave, because she was very comfortable with this servant. When Cheng Minjing heard about this from her family, she was in a bad mood because of her stomach pain. She laid on the bed and fell asleep after thinking about it. When it was time to eat, she told Xiao Chen. What? Xiao Xiao. Xiao Chen was stunned after listening to Cheng Minjing's words. Cheng Mingqiang wants to marry Xiao Xiao? What is the Cheng family up to? At this moment, Xiao Chen seemed to have caught something in his mind, but it was just a flash. Cheng family? Xiao family? Another marriage? Xiao Chen shook his head. The thought of that moment had already disappeared. Xiao Chen thought about it, but he couldn't think of any reason. He felt a little sorry for Xiao Xiao. He didn't like Cheng Mingqiang. He was too scheming. He wasn't even as good as Qi Zhigao. And Cheng Minjing shrugged. You may have to go back to the Xiao family. Hehe, I'm doing well now. Why should I go back? Of course, Xiao Chen couldn't go back. After he went back, how could he investigate the people who were targeting him and his father? Really, Cheng Minjing seemed to be a little happy after listening. At least you still have a little conscience. You know that I treat you well. Ah, Xiao Chen was slightly stunned, and then he smiled. Yeah, Xiao Chen knew that Cheng Minjing was thinking wrongly, but he didn't explain. Before, Xiao Chen thought that Cheng Minjing was forced to take him in. Now it seemed that they got along quite well. Then he could still swindle some money from Lu Jinming to buy medicine. After Cheng Minjing finished dinner, she went upstairs to rest. Xiao Chen went to the kitchen to help Yi Xiaoya boil medicine. This gas stove wasn't like the electric earthenware pot. It could be set on time. Xiao Chen had to keep an eye on it at all times. However, Xiao Chen set an alarm clock with his mobile phone, and then he sat next to it and practiced. After a while, the medicinal liquid in Xiao Chen's room was ready. Xiao Chen went to take it and drank it. Then he started to exercise in the kitchen. At the beginning, the feeling was the same as every day. But soon Xiao Chen found something wrong. This feeling made Xiao Chen's heart tremble, and his expression became dignified. I'm about to break through. This feeling was similar to the previous breakthroughs. It was the kind of feeling where water overflowed when it was full. The vitality circled along the meridians and circulated in Xiao Chen's body. With the continuous increase of vitality, Xiao Chen seemed to feel that the moment was approaching. Immediately afterward, the vitality in Xiao Chen's meridians slowly stopped, and then it quickly rushed to his dantian. At this moment, the vitality in his body continuously poured into Xiao Chen's dantian. Xiao Chen only felt like his dantian was about to explode. The vitality in his dantian was constantly being compressed. This feeling was exactly the same as when Xiao Chen broke through previously. Therefore, although it was painful for Xiao Chen, he could still grit his teeth and persevere. It was just that this time, it was obviously more painful than before. Not only was his dantian swollen to the point of pain, but Xiao Chen's entire body was also filled with a burning feeling. It was like a chain reaction, and it seemed that his dantian had also affected his entire body. Boom! After about half an hour or so, Xiao Chen's body suddenly trembled, and in the meridians in his body, it was as if something had been broken, bringing with it a trembling pain and a burning feeling, as if his whole body was being burned by fire. Xiao Chen knew that he was about to break through. However, the clothes on his body had also been burned to ashes by the hot temperature. It wasn't until Xiao Chen felt a cold feeling that he realized that he was actually naked. F***ck. If I broke through on the street, wouldn't they think that I was a psychopath who ran out to run naked? Xiao Chen let out a long sigh of relief, and then cursed in embarrassment. He wondered if the elder heaven ancestor had encountered such an embarrassing thing when he broke through in the past. Stinking brat. You still dare to make up stories about your master in your head. A fierce reprimanding voice came into Xiao Chen's ears. We cultivators cultivate to become immortals, and the clothes we usually wear are naturally specially made, so they won't be burned at all. You're wearing ordinary clothes, so who can you blame? Oh, so that's how it is. Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed after hearing this. But you broke through so quickly, kid? It doesn't make sense. The elder heaven ancestor said with some doubt. Doesn't make sense? Is cultivation very scientific? Xiao Chen was a little speechless. Why did the elder heaven ancestor's words sound so awkward? The science I'm talking about is the science of the cultivation world. And it's not the same science as yours. Kid, don't change the subject. The elder heaven ancestor said angrily. You're actually a cultivator at the 4th level of the refinement stage now. This speed is too fast, and your foundation is not stable. I'm afraid that there will be a problem. What problem could there be? Xiao Chen asked quickly, shocked. It's hard to say. Originally, you were cultivating backwards, so there's no reference. However, according to the consistent principle of cultivators, that is more haste, less speed. Only by taking one step at a time can you reach the peak in the future. Only those evil cultivators will pursue the speed of cultivation by any means necessary, the elder heaven ancestor said. But there's an obvious drawback, and that is you'll lose your mind. That's scary. Xiao Chen was a little worried after hearing this. Then what should I do? What else can you do? Who asked you to cultivate so stupidly? What can I do? The elder heaven ancestor looked helpless. Damn. Then I'll just hold on? Xiao Chen was really speechless. This master didn't seem very reliable. It doesn't matter. I'll help you follow up. If you have any problems, I'll help you find them in time. The elder heaven ancestor said. Okay. Xiao Chen had no other way. He could only do this. He couldn't not cultivate now, right? He knew that there might be trouble, but for the sake of strength, he had to keep going. Xiao Chen was asking the elder heaven ancestor questions about cultivation when Yi Xiaoya's voice came from the kitchen door. Xiao Chen, is my medicine ready? Xiao Chen was shocked. He subconsciously reached out to cover the important parts of his body. This had been seen by Yi Xiaoya once before. This made Xiao Chen feel really embarrassed. Yi Xiaoya walked into the kitchen and saw the naked Xiao Chen. She suddenly screamed, Xiao Chen, what are you doing? Why aren't you wearing clothes again? I'm sorry. Xiao Chen suddenly felt a little ashamed. I just practiced. I accidentally burned my clothes and I couldn't stop. Damn. Do you think I'm stupid? How can the special effects in TV commercials be real? Yi Xiaoya pouted, but seeing that Xiao Chen was helping her with the medicine, she didn't say anything. Well, actually I was in the room. I was sweating from the exercise, so I didn't wear clothes. However, my phone reminded me that the time for your medicine was almost up, so I came to take a look. I didn't expect you to come down. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Then you can say it directly. Yi Xiaoya said disdainfully, thank you. You can go back and wear clothes now. I'll do it myself. Chapter 139. N. Xiao Chen nodded and quickly went back to his room. Xiao Chen realized that Yi Xiaoya, the cool girl, was not completely cool. At least this time. The two of them had a few words. And this was a good start. When they were more familiar with each other, Xiao Chen planned to ask her about the Kuji fruit. In fact, it would take more than 10 minutes for the potion to be ready, so Yi Xiaoya decided to wait here. In her boredom, she found some ashes near the stove. It seemed to be the remains of burning cotton fabric. What is this? It's so strange. Yi Xiaoya pinched it with her hand and twisted it in her hand. It really smells like burnt clothes. Could it be that Xiao Chen's clothes were really burnt? It's so strange. Could it be that he accidentally touched the flame and was embarrassed to say it out loud? Yi Xiaoya thought. Xiao Chen returned to his room and quickly took a hot shower to wash the sweat and mud off his body. Suddenly, he thought of the dregs in the electric clay pot, so he quickly asked, Elder Heaven Ancestor. This medicine has been used for 2 days. Can I continue to brew the medicine tomorrow with the remaining dregs? No, it's stage 4. It's time to change the medicine. Elder Heaven Ancestor said lightly. Of course, you can use it if you want. Drink it as a beverage. Pfft! Who would drink such a disgusting beverage? Xiao Chun was speechless, and at the same time, his heart was bleeding. 500,000. My money. I only used it for 2 days, and it's all gone? Isn't this too wasteful? He's even more wasteful than the young master of the Xiao family before. He spends money like water. I'll give you a new prescription. Don't forget to get the medicine tomorrow. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Not bad. Now, even if you face a martial artist at the peak of stage 4 of inner force, you'll be able to fight him. Elder Heaven Ancestor. What kind of special abilities do I have at the 4th level of refinement stage? Xiao Chun asked. A level 4 refinement stage. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said. The greatest ability of a cultivator at the 4th level of the refinement stage is the transformation of primordial qi. Transformation of vitality? Xiao Chun didn't quite understand. What does that mean? Actually, it's very simple. The so-called yuan energy conversion is to convert the yuan energy in your body into other types of energy. For example, you can convert it into flames, water vapor, electricity, energy, and so on. It can also be used as nutrients to accelerate the ripening of plants. For example, if you plant a cherry tree, you can use essence to accelerate the ripening of the cherries, greatly reducing the ripening period. The Elder Heaven Ancestor explained. Of course, the effect of accelerated ripening is 100 times, 1,000 times better than normal ripening. This is because your yuan qi is formed from the purest spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It's much better than the yuan qi you injected in such a short amount of time. One is inside, and the other is on the surface. Is it really so awesome? Xiao Chun's eyes bulged. Then can I cook without gas in the future? Can I use a telephone? Can I make some water when I take a bath instead of using a water heater? Can I only buy seeds and accelerate the ripening of the vegetables? Can I drive without gas? Yes, you can. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said affirmatively. However, it will be hard for you to recover your yuan qi after it is used up. If you don't want to break into the 5th level of the refinement stage, just keep using it. You can use it however you want. You don't need to save it. It was not until then that Xiao Chun realized that the yuan qi in his body was limited. If he used it up, he would have to train himself to get it back. It was fine to cook some delicacies with yuan qi for Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei occasionally. But if he used it for this or that, it wouldn't be long before his yuan qi ran out, and a night of training would be wasted. How could he break into the 5th level of the refinement stage then? It's just an emergency. Even in the world of cultivators, nobody would waste their yuan qi like that. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Besides, I was counting on your yuan qi for me to use. What should I do if you waste it? Fine. Xiao Chun gave up on that unrealistic idea of saving money. Only by doing this could he save some money. Compared to what he spent, it was simply not worth it. The 4th level of the refinement stage. When he calmed down, Xiao Chun had a feeling that everything was unreal. How long had it been since he left the Xiao family? The life of the useless young master was still vivid in his mind. But in the blink of an eye, he had become a martial arts expert, a medical expert, and a brilliant cultivator. Equivalent to a martial artist at the peak of the 4th level of inner force? Was this the martial arts that he had been dreaming of since he was a kid? Xiao Chun, among the younger generation of the aristocratic families in Songning City, was already in existence far ahead of them. Of course, it could not be ruled out that some people were hiding their real strength. Chao Yuliang was already so powerful. What about the others? Yu Xiaochuan was not someone who was easy to deal with. Perhaps only Lu Jinming and Chen Jinping did not hide anything? Thinking of this, Xiao Chun increasingly felt that these young masters from the big families were not simple. Thinking of the past, he thought that he had deceived everyone. But what was the result? Wasn't he kicked out of the Xiao family, and his father missing? It seemed that hiding one's strength was just a small path after all. Only when one had absolute strength, that was the true path. If Xiao Chun had not become a cultivator, he was afraid that he would have died in the hands of Lu Jinming before Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping could make a move. Don't look at how this kid did not have any deep schemes. When it came to being ruthless, he was the best of two. He dared to kill someone with his car in the downtown area. What else could he not do? Xiao Chun secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, he met the elder heaven ancestor, so that he could play Lu Jinming like a monkey. Otherwise, it was hard to say who was playing who. The night was silent. Xiao Chun consolidated his strength of the 4th level of the refinement stage. It was not until dawn that Xiao Chun stopped. He put on his clothes and went out of the house to the morning market street. Today was Saturday. Xiao Chun had to set up a stall on the morning market street all day. When he arrived at the old auntie's grocery store, Tang Tang was already there preparing. Morning, Xiao Chun. I have prepared a little more today. But you are a great boxing master. I don't think you will be interested in this little bit of money. Tang Tang laughed. No matter how small a mosquito is, it's still meat. Why won't I be interested? Xiao Chun was so poor that he almost went crazy. The medicine bought with 500,000 yuan made him blind in 2 days. What a waste. Haha, well, look at your miser. I will only ask for my living expenses. You can have the rest. Tang Tang nodded with satisfaction. As long as Xiao Chun accompanied her to sell breakfast every day, she would be very happy. Tang Tang felt very warm. Although the days were dull and hard, it seemed to be the life she wanted. There were no disputes in big families. There were no intrigues between people. She just wanted to be with her favorite, her buddy. Xiao Chun rode the bike, and Tang Tang sat in the back. He did not expect to meet Lin's family at the entrance of the morning market street. Lin and Mrs. Lin were pushing the bike in the back, and Lin Dongliang was riding in the front to control the direction. Sister Lin. Tang Tang saw Lin and greeted her. Ah, it's my sister and Xiao Chun. You also set up the stall so early. It's really hard. Lin did not dare to look at Xiao Chun, and just said to Tang Tang, well, come and get the fried dough sticks later. I prepared one more for you. Tang Tang smiled. Well, thank you, sister. I will also bring you some noodles. Lin said quickly. Tang Tang's stall was near the outside, and Lin's stall was inside. Tang Tang inherited the stall of the grocery store's auntie. This breakfast stall used to belong to the auntie, but she was now old and could not afford to work hard. Tang Tang just wanted to do it, so she made it for her, so the location was better. Soon they arrived at Xiao Chun's stall. Xiao Chun waved his hand to Lin. Lin blushed and said well. Then she turned and left. She did not dare to let her mother see that she was very familiar with Xiao Chun. You don't like her? Or do you like Cheng Minjing? Tang Tang saw that Xiao Chun did not seem to have much interest in Lin, so she asked curiously. It's nothing. I said that I am afraid that she will be harassed. Xiao Chun shook his head and said, she and I are people from 2 different worlds. She will not understand what these aristocratic families and martial artists are like. I can't give her anything. What's more, I am not even Xiao Chun now. I can't afford to support myself. Why should I support her? Well, in my opinion, it's you who still can't forget Cheng Minjing. Tang Tang understood it in her heart. Otherwise, it is impossible for you to be with her. There is a gap between your identity and background. Why do you still stay in the villa and not leave? How is it possible? Xiao Chun said with a wry smile. It's just that when I was down and out, she gave me a place to live. I can't say that now that I am a little better, I will leave, right? Okay. You are right, okay? Tang Tang said helplessly. Soon the 2 of them were busy. Since the business had opened, they didn't have much time to chat. A busy day had begun. Lu Jinming felt that Cheng Minjing seemed to like eating fried dough sticks, so he also wanted to give it a try this morning. He wanted to treat Cheng Minjing to breakfast and promote their relationship. He picked up the phone and dialed Xiao Chun's number first. Xiao Chun was frying fried dough sticks when the phone rang. He thought it was Cheng Minjing looking for him, but when he saw it was Lu Jinming, he suddenly picked up the phone and said angrily, Lu Jinming, what are you doing? Lu Jinming was stunned. He thought that why Xiao Chun's tone was so fierce today. Did he take gunpowder or something? However, he asked Xiao Chun for help. Even if he was angry, He didn't dare to hang up the phone. He could only ask weakly, Xiao Chun, you are so hot-tempered today. Get to the point. Xiao Chun said impatiently. In fact, I want to treat Chung Minjing to breakfast today. Let's go to your place in the morning market street. Can you help me check and see if she got up? Lu Zhiming asked quickly. Chapter 140. I say, young Master Lu, is there something wrong with your brain? I'm frying youtiao in the morning market. How would I know if she has woken up? Besides, I'm in the same villa with her. It's not the same room, let alone the same floor. How would I know? If she wakes up and doesn't leave the house, I won't know. Xiao Chun said angrily. Yes. Haha, I'm sorry. I'll ask myself. Lu Zhiming listened to Xiao Chun's words and laughed instead of being angry. This just proved that the relationship between Xiao Chun and Chung Minjing wasn't close at all. The relationship between the two was just that of a master and a servant. Xiao Chun hung up the phone directly. He was now a cultivator at the 4th level of the qi refinement stage, so his words were quite tough. At least, he wouldn't be bullied by others like before. After Lu Zhiming called Xiao Chun, he dialed Chung Minjing's phone number directly. However, the phone rang a few times, but no one picked up. Even when it was automatically cut off, no one picked up. However, Lu Zhiming persevered and dialed a second time. This time, the phone didn't ring for long before Chung Minjing picked up, but Lu Zhiming's ears were almost deafened. Lu Zhiming, do you want to die? You're disturbing my sleep so early in the morning. Do you want to die? Chung Minjing had a stomachache and wanted to sleep in, but the phone kept ringing. After ringing once, she thought it would stop ringing, but it didn't take long for it to start ringing again. Chung Minjing had no choice but to take the phone and look at the caller ID. She suddenly exploded in anger. Lu Zhiming realized that he was a bit stupid. Today was Saturday, and he went to school as a normal day. The result was a tragedy. However, the call had already been made, so he could only bite the bullet and say, that. Miss Chung, I want to treat you to breakfast. Do you want me to pick you up at your house? Chung Minjing was woken up, and she couldn't sleep anymore. She thought that the youtiao yesterday was really delicious, so her attitude was a little better. All right, I'll forget about it for the sake of eating youtiao. I'm going to inspect my servants. Okay, then I'll go to Qianhua Shuabian District now. Lu Zhiming knew that Chung Minjing lived in Qianhua Shuabian District, but he didn't know the specific address. Wait at the entrance of the villa. I'm looking for Bei Bei, Chung Minjing said. You're still looking for Jean Bei Bei? Lu Zhiming's face immediately turned bitter. What? You don't want to treat Bei Bei? Chung Minjing's tone changed. Of course not. The more people, the merrier. Lu Zhiming said in a hurry. It seemed that he had to be more careful in the future, not to show his dissatisfaction toward Jean Bei Bei. Otherwise, it would be even less likely that Chung Minjing would fall in love with him. Then wait for me. Chung Minjing would not have bothered to talk to Lu Zhiming if she were not going to eat youtiao. However, when she recalled that the youtiao that Xiao Chun fried yesterday was very delicious after being seasoned, she held back her displeasure and went to Lu Zhiming's car. Lu Zhiming waited at the entrance of Qianhua Shuabian District for almost an hour before he finally saw Jean Bei Bei's Panamera passing by. Lu Zhiming hurried to get out of the car and shouted, "Hey, Jean Bei Bei." However, Jean Bei Bei did not respond to him at all. The car disappeared in the blink of an eye. He had intended to follow Jean Bei Bei to learn Chung Minjing's address, but his plan was ruined. He could only ask Xiao Chun another day. After another half an hour, when Lu Zhiming was about to turn into a fossil, he saw Jean Bei Bei's Panamera driving out again. "Minjing, you're here. Why don't you get in my car?" Lu Zhiming hurried to get out of the car and made a gesture for her to get in. "Didn't you know that cousin Minjing's relative is here today? Why did you ask her to get out of the car when it's inconvenient for her to move? You'll be covered in blood later." Jean Bei Bei bared her teeth at Lu Zhiming. Well, Lu Zhiming was dazed for a moment. He immediately felt embarrassed. No wonder Chung Minjing was in such a bad temper today. He nodded in a hurry and said, "All right, I'll lead the way." "Bei Bei, why did you tell everyone about it? How could you tell an outsider about it?" Cheng Minjing frowned. She was a little angry that Jean Beibei told Lu Zhenming her private affairs. However, she forgot that she had just told Xiao Chun yesterday. Or rather, she was already used to Xiao Chun's presence in the villa, and did not regard him as an outsider anymore. Hee, I didn't think that much. Jean Beibei said with a smile. Right. Can I stay at your place tonight? It's the weekend. Okay. You can keep me company. Cheng Minjing nodded. 2 cars appeared on the morning market street one after the other. However, Jean Beibei parked her car at the roadside at the entrance of the morning market street, and didn't drive further inside. Naturally, Lu Zhenming didn't dare to barge in. Although his car plate number was Super Awesome 001, Lu Zhenming swaggered in front to clear the way. Because of Cheng Minjing's special situation, he was afraid that someone would bump into Cheng Minjing. He was a qualified escort. However, Cheng Minjing did not even look at him. In fact, Cheng Minjing looked down on a gangster like him, even more than the foppish young master Xiao Chun. The 3 of them arrived at Xiao Chun's breakfast stall. When Lu Zhenming was about to cut the queue to buy something, someone behind him objected. Hey, what are you doing? Line up at the back. F***ck. Lu Zhenming was about to curse, but he remembered that this was Xiao Chun's breakfast stall. He could not cause trouble. Perhaps all the people who knew him yesterday were not here. Besides, he had changed his clothes and did not drive in, so no one recognized him as the super awesome young master who dared to bump into red hair yesterday. Therefore, Lu Zhenming hesitated for a moment and was about to leave. Suddenly, a shopper recognized him and hurriedly said to the unwilling shopper, "Don't shout. You can't mess with this person. He was the one who wanted to bump into red hair yesterday. You have offended him. What if he kills you later?" That ruthless man? Obviously, the shopper had also heard the gossip yesterday. At this time, he shrank his neck and did not dare to speak. The others did the same. Lu Zhenming laughed and felt that he was quite awesome. He greeted Xiao Chun in high spirits. "Good morning, Xiao Chun. Help us make some breakfast." Xiao Chun nodded without saying anything. Tang Tang filled a plate of fried dough sticks and 3 bowls of soybean milk for him. When Lu Zhenming was about to take it away, he heard Xiao Chun say, "Wait, where's the money?" It was not that Lu Zhenming did not want to give it, but he forgot. So he hurriedly took out 100 yuan and handed it to Tang Tang. "Including tomorrow's money. Today's money may not be enough." Xiao Chun did not wait for Tang Tang to speak and directly replied to him. "Hey." Lu Zhenming was stunned. "I can't eat so much, can I? You don't need me to talk to Jean Beibei later? Is the service charge free?" Speaking of this, Xiao Chun shrugged and said, "Fine, I won't go." "No. Then the service charge. I will add another 100 yuan. You must come soon." Lu Zhenming took out another 100 yuan and handed it to Tang Tang. Tang Tang was stunned. She took the money and thought, "This Lu Zhenming actually listens to Xiao Chun now?" Looking at Xiao Chun's reaction, is he going to give up on Cheng Minjing? Does he not like Cheng Minjing anymore? It's impossible. If he doesn't like her, why does he continue to be her servant? Perhaps Xiao Chun knows that he has no hope, so he does this. Thinking of this, Tang Tang felt some sympathy for Xiao Chun, but she also felt a little indignant. Since Cheng Minjing had no future with Xiao Chun, she should not give him hope and let him have expectations. At about 10 o'clock, the people who came to buy fried dough sticks gradually decreased. The next peak was after 11 o'clock. Xiao Chun fried a lot of fried dough sticks, which was enough for Tang Tang to sell. So he turned around and walked to Lu Zhenming. "Oh, Xiao Chun, you're finally here." Lu Zhenming was very anxious. Just now, he sat in front of Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei like a fool. The 2 of them were chattering, and Lu Zhenming did not understand a word. He could only play with his mobile phone in boredom. However, it was worth praising that he finally succeeded in adding the WeChat ID of Fishman2, Urine22, and sent 100 messages to him sincerely. "Hello Fishman2, I'm your loyal fan. My name is Lu Zhenming. Can you arrange a role for me in your novel? It'd be better if it has a high appearance rate and is very awesome." Then, he quietly waited for the reply, hoping that he could get what he wanted. In this way, Cheng Minjing could see his awesome deeds. He imagined that one day when Cheng Minjing watched Campus Belle's bodyguard, she suddenly found that there was a very awesome person named Lu Zhenming in the novel. Wow, he was so cool. Why haven't you eaten yet? Xiaochen glanced at the fried dough sticks and soybean milk in front of Lu Zhenming, which had not been touched. Well, Lu Zhenming was too embarrassed to eat just now. Since Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei were eating and chatting, it would be too boring for him to eat alone. He wanted to wait for Xiaochen to come and eat together. But before he finished, the fried dough sticks and soybean milk in front of him were snatched away by Xiaochen. If you don't eat, I'll eat. Xiaochen took it and started to eat. Lu Zhenming took a deep breath and said with a bitter face, I'm waiting for you to eat. I haven't eaten yet. Oh. Xiaochen answered and did not move, continuing to eat. What I mean is you ate my breakfast, what should I do? Lu Zhenming hated Xiaochen to the core. This guy was truly invincible when he was shameless. Don't you know how to buy more? Xiaochen asked. Damn it. Lu Zhenming had no choice but to stand up and buy fried dough sticks again. Lin Kuo was no longer busy on her side, so she quickly cooked 2 bowls of noodles and ran over to Tang Tang and Xiaochen. Lin was afraid that the noodles would become soft and not taste good, so she trotted all the way to Xiaochen's breakfast stand. When she was about to reach Xiaochen's breakfast stand, a person suddenly rushed out from the side and bumped into her. The 2 bowls of noodles were directly splashed on that person. Chapter 141. Lin was shocked and stopped. She looked at the man with pockmarks on his face and looked very fierce. She was a little dumbfounded. I'm sorry. D*MN little girl, do you have eyes? Why are you running so fast? Are you rushing to reincarnate? Do you know that your basketball brother, is going to find a partner? How can I find a partner with you all over me? The fierce man pointed at Lin and shouted, Hurry up and pay up. How much money? Lin took 2 steps back in horror. She grabbed the corner of her clothes helplessly and didn't dare to look up at the fierce macho man. It's not my fault. It's you ran diagonally. What? You're still in the right after bumping into someone? You should be careful when you walk with noodles. Why are you blaming me? Zheng Qianzhu was the instructor of a nearby dojo. He used to be a hooligan. When he had nothing to do, he also liked to extort and force girls into prostitution. He had set his eyes on Lin Kuo just now, so he purposely created such a show. Basketball brother, this little girl looks like a waitress who delivers food. Your clothes are branded goods. It's the Astor Imperial brand. It's 400 to 500 yuan. I don't think she can afford it. At this time, one of Zheng Qianzhu's followers came over. This person was also a coach in the martial arts dojo. He usually hung out with Zheng Qianzhu. His name was Wei Ji, and he was also a gangster. What should we do? We can't just let it go, right? Zheng Qianzhu glared at Lin. How about this? Little girl, you sleep with our basketball brother for a night, and we'll let this matter go. 400 to 500 yuan can be used to find a very high-class lady. You see if you can then come with us. If you can't, then you have to pay up. Wei Ji pretended to be very kind and said, Lin's face turned pale, and she bit her lips subconsciously. You can't blame me. Besides, I didn't mean it. I think this condition is fine. Hurry up and choose. Don't waste time. Zheng Beiqi threatened. Otherwise, hurry up and compensate me for my clothes. Lu Zhenming quickly ran to Tang Tang to buy breakfast, but he slipped halfway and fell on his butt. When he got up to take a look, he guessed that it was a pile of watery noodles. No wonder he slipped and fell. He immediately flew into a rage. Mother Ker, who threw noodles on the ground. Hence, when he turned his head to take a look, he discovered Lin Kuo was weakly holding onto a plate of noodles, and in front of her stood 2 burly men. Although he didn't know what they were doing, Lu Zhenming wasn't stupid. He was sure that the spilled noodles on the ground had something to do with these 3 people. Do you want to die? Lu Zhenming pointed at the 3 of them and said angrily. Didn't you throw the noodles on the ground and ignore them? Don't you think you're screwed? He didn't know if Cheng Minjing saw this funny scene, so in order to save his face, he must give an explanation. Tang Tang also saw that Kerlin had a dispute with someone, but she was being called a fried dough stick. She couldn't just ignore the customers in front of her and rush over, right? Fortunately, they hadn't fought yet. It was just a quarrel. Tang Tang still had time. However, before Tang Tang could get there, Lu Zhenming had already started to fight with the three men. Hey Xiao Chen, isn't that your little lover over there? She's being bullied. Don't you want to go and see? Cheng Minjing also saw Kerlin. When she saw her coming with 2 bowls of noodles, she wasn't very happy. This Xiao Chen is already down and out. And he still has the mood to continue to hook up with Kerlin? What is he thinking? However, although she was unhappy, she was a kind person. When she saw Kerlin being bullied, she still couldn't sit back and do nothing. Cheng Minjing saw it, so did Xiao Chen. When he was about to go over, he saw that Lu Zhenming had a conflict with them first. Xiao Chen patted his forehead. This Lu Zhenming is really a troublemaker. He can cause trouble wherever he goes. However, it seems that he's not bad. Where are you from? Zheng Qianzhu didn't expect that someone would come out of nowhere, but he didn't dare to go too far. The arrogant young man in front of him had an obvious martial artist's aura. Others couldn't see it, but Zheng Qianzhu certainly knew. Although Zheng Qianzhu was the coach of the martial arts club, he didn't even have the first level of internal force. Although the owner of their martial arts club was somewhat powerful, he was just an ordinary coach. He couldn't reach the level of a martial artist at all. Therefore, even if Lu Zhenming wasn't a martial artist, he had the aura of a martial artist. His strength should be on par with Zheng Qianzhu. Kerlin, are you okay? Xiao Chen also walked over quickly at this time, and took the tray from Kerlin's hand. Lu Zhenming was slightly stunned. He directly turned around and slapped Zheng Qianzhu's face. Motherfasterous cur. How dare you hit Xiao Chen's woman? I think you don't want to live anymore. After that, Lu Zhenming slapped Zheng Qianzhu left and right. He vented his anger on Zheng Qianzhu's face. Lu Zhenming did this for a reason. He was obviously announcing that there was a relationship between Kerlin and Xiao Chen. Although Xiao Chen had Tang Tang, Tang Tang was still too ugly. He was afraid that Xiao Chen and Cheng Minjing would revive. Although this possibility seemed very small, Lu Zhenming was also afraid. Therefore, when he shouted, Cheng Minjing must have seen it too. Then, she would not have anything to do with Xiao Chen, and take precautions in advance. On the other hand, it was also to tell Xiao Chen how good he was to him, how much he protected him, and how he would help him when there was trouble. In this way, it would be more convenient for him to ask Zheng Qianzhu to help him pursue Cheng Minjing in the future. However, Lu Zhenming underestimated Zheng Qianzhu's strength. Zheng Qianzhu was also a master of internal force. Although he had not reached the martial artist realm, he was not weaker than Lu Zhenming. He was stunned by Lu Zhenming before. When he came back to his senses, he fought with Lu Zhenming. It was reasonable to say that his strength was similar to Lu Zhenming's, so Lu Zhenming would not be at a disadvantage. However, Wei Ji next to him, although his strength was not as good as Zheng Qianzhu, he was also a coach of the martial arts club. When he helped from the side, Lu Zhenming began to be at a disadvantage. After a few blows, Lu Zhenming was beaten black and blue. He had to shout, Xiao Chen, come and help me. I can't take it anymore. Okay, I'm coming. Only now did Xiao Chen pretend to come to his senses. He ran over and kicked Wei Ji to the ground. Then he fiercely kicked Wei Ji's butt. Wei Ji let out a blood-curdling scream, and felt that his anus had already prolapsed. Lu Zhenming knew Xiao Chen's strength. Although he was not a martial artist, his strength was not weak. Therefore, Xiao Chen really had to help at this moment, even though he enjoyed watching Lu Zhenming getting beaten up. Without the pressure from Wei Ji, Lu Zhenming was still slightly stronger than Zheng Qianzhu. He quickly completed the counterattack and began to beat Zheng Qianzhu. Soon, Zheng Qianzhu's head was beaten like a basketball. Kerlin was dumbfounded by the side. She was so scared that her whole body was trembling. Xiao Chen and his friend are too violent, right? In the past, although he was a playboy and was respected, he was not so ruthless. Has he become a big demon now? Kerlin began to fear Xiao Chen even more. Phew! Lu Zhenming was tired, and let out a long breath. He said fiercely, You blind fools, I'm tired. Otherwise, I'll beat you into a vegetable today. Good. Very good. Zhang Qianju's eyes were red. But he also knew that a wise man knew better than to fight when the odds were against him. The two people in front of him were not martial artists, but they were not weak. If he wanted to take revenge now, he would undoubtedly humiliate himself. However, when had he ever suffered such a loss? He pointed at Lu Zhenming and Xiao Chun and said, I'll remember you. You sell youtiao here, right? Very good. You dare to beat up people from the Chao clan dojo. You're dead. With that, Zhang Qianju pulled Wei Ji and limped away. At least he did not lose face. If he looked for trouble later, it would be considered revenge. What Chao clan dojo? Even if you are from the Chao clan dojo, I will still beat you up. I'm from Zhangfei dojo. Lu Zhenming curled his lips. Although his face was injured, he was still in a good mood. At least he won in the end. However, Xiao Chen's expression changed. He looked at Lu Zhenming in shock. Young Master Lu, it's over. We've caused trouble this time. We've caused big trouble. What's the big trouble? Didn't I just beat up two idiots? Lu Zhenming did not care. This Chao clan dojo is very powerful. It's nearby. They left today, but they said they would not let me go. If they bring people to trouble me, what should I do? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. If that happens, I can only run. Young Master Lu, you will have to fight alone in the future. I can't help you anymore. Don't. Lu Zhenming didn't want Xiao Chen to run away. Now it was good to have Xiao Chen as an insider. If there was no Xiao Chen, it would be difficult for him to pursue Qing Minjing. So he quickly said, Don't worry. Don't forget what our Lu family does. If we talk about the dojo, then we are the ancestors. Xiao Chen, don't worry. I will get someone to flatten them now. That's great. Thank you, young Master Lu. Xiao Chen let out a sigh of relief with a look of lingering fear. Lu Zhenming waved his hand and dialed Lei Dianfeng's phone directly. Young Master Ming, do you have any instructions? Lei Dianfeng picked up the phone and asked. It's like this. Near the Morning Market Street, there is a Chao clan dojo. Bring a few more masters and destroy them for me. Lu Zhenming ordered directly. Oh, Lei Dianfeng was stunned. How did this dojo provoke young Master Ming? What is their background? Why don't we investigate first before we make a move? Investigate what? Hurry up, don't delay my plan to pick up girls. Lu Zhenming said impatiently. A few coaches who haven't even reached the first level of inner force. What background can they have? Besides, did they inform us when they opened a dojo? After you destroy them, tell them that I, Lu Zhenming, destroyed them. Chapter 142. Okay, I got it. Young Master Ming, I will bring someone over in a while. Lei Dianfeng responded. Okay, it's done. Xiao Chen, don't worry. This afternoon, the Chao's martial arts school will no longer exist. Lu Zhenming said proudly. Did you see how much I protected you? We are good brothers in the future. If I have something to do, you can't ignore it. Just now, didn't I take the risk of revenge to help you? Xiao Chen said. That's right. Lu Zhenming nodded after listening. Okay, then let's go back for breakfast. Wait for me. I will buy some food. No need. This meal is on me. Xiao Chen waved his hand generously. Okay. Although Lu Zhenming looked very happy, he secretly cursed in his heart. Just one meal. Will I have to spend money in the future? What a stingy person. But it's fine. He's not stingy and doesn't love money. I can't buy him. He asked Tang Tang to prepare some breakfast for Lu Zhenming. Xiao Chen came to Kerlin's side. Are you okay? Kerlin's body was actually splashed with a lot of soup, but it wasn't serious. However, when she saw Xiao Chen coming over, her heart was beating fast, and she took 2 steps back. I'm okay. Kerlin was afraid of Xiao Chen. Why is he scarier and more brutal than before? It's good that you're okay. Xiao Chen didn't know that Kerlin was afraid of him. He thought that she was scared by Zheng Qichuan just now. Ahem, Xiao Chen, bring me a bowl of soy milk. Cheng Minjing's voice sounded. She didn't know why, but when she saw Xiao Chen and Kerlin talking, she was angry. Very angry. Damn Xiao Chen. All right. Xiao Chen agreed and nodded to Kerlin. Then he said to Tang Tang, Tang Tang, help her get some fried dough sticks and soy milk, and some tofu pudding. Anyway, there are a lot of them. Yes, it's ready. Tang Tang handed a bag of breakfast to Kerlin. Ah, how can I? Kerlin looked at what Tang Tang handed over, and felt a little embarrassed to take it. Take it. I still have business here. Tang Tang smiled. Then, I'll bring you 2 bowls of noodles later. Ah, 5 bowls. Kerlin thought of Lu Jinming, Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei. Lu Jinming had just helped him. Although this person was cruel, he still helped him. How could he not help him? And Cheng Minjing's presence here made Kerlin feel a little strange. Didn't Xiao Chen break off the engagement with her? Why are they together again? Or did they resume the engagement? Alas, I really don't understand the affairs of these big families. It seems that Xiao Chen just wants to fool around with me. He still wants to be with Cheng Minjing, a lady from a respectable family. Thinking of this, Kerlin lowered her head and left. Although Jean Beibei didn't know her, she subconsciously thought that she was Lu Jinming's girlfriend. Tang Tang was a little surprised to see that Kerlin's mood suddenly turned gloomy. A touch of thought flashed across her face. Does she like Xiao Chen? It doesn't seem so. Tang Tang couldn't figure out Kerlin's real thoughts. Xiao Chen filled a bowl of soy milk with extra ingredients for Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei. The 2 of them drank it happily. Although Lu Jinming had never drunk such delicious soy milk, the current soy milk tasted very good. Xiao Chen, your taste is very high now. You can even go to a 5-star restaurant to cook breakfast. Just to make a living. You haven't drunk it before, so you think it's delicious, said Xiao Chen. That's true. I didn't eat these roadside stalls at all before. Lu Jinming thought so and nodded. By the way, Xiao Chen, is that pretty girl your little lover? Yes. When we were in number 1 middle school, Xiao Chen didn't like me and always pestered Kerlin. Before Xiao Chen denied it, Cheng Minjing said fiercely. Xiao Chen was stunned. Did I offend her? But thinking of her special situation today, it was normal for her to have a bad temper. So he didn't explain further. I see. Lu Jinming was overjoyed. Xiao Chen didn't like Cheng Minjing before? That's great. I don't have to worry that he will steal her one day. It seems that Xiao Chen is really a playboy. But if I were not a loyal fan of Minjing, I would also be tempted. Kerlin is really a rare little beauty. Xiao Chen didn't know how to answer. Just at this time his phone rang. Xiao Chen was relieved. Otherwise, it would be hard for him to answer. He picked up the phone and glanced at the caller ID. It was Chen Jinping. If it was normal times, he would be quite annoyed with Chen Jinping. At this time, he was very happy. Little Pengzi, what's the matter? Xiao Chen, about the racing, have you thought about it? If it's okay, I will sign you up for the competition and leave a place for you. Otherwise, you also know that the mountain road of Fighting Dragon Mountain is overcrowded on weekends. Chen Jinping answered the phone and said straightforwardly. I see, but I don't have money. Although the bonus is generous, I heard that I have to pay a deposit of 200,000 yuan. I don't have that much money. When Xiao Chen saw that Chen Jinping was so active, he knew that it was not a good thing. This deposit is not a problem. I can lend it to you. If you win, it will be yours. If you lose, I won't ask for it. Chen Jinping said. How can you lend it to me? Xiao Chen asked. Then it is yours. Chen Jinping didn't expect that he would lose another 200,000 yuan. He had to reimburse Chao Yuliang later. Oh, okay. Then wait for me tonight, Xiao Chen said. Okay. Xiao Chen, don't forget to drive. The Porsche 991 is not bad. Chen Jinping reminded him. That is Jean Beibei's car. I'm not sure if she will lend it to me. Let's talk about it later, Xiao Chen said perfunctorily. Okay, I will wait for you. Chen Jinping curled his lips and thought. You will definitely lose if you drive a Porsche 991. If you drive a worse car, you will definitely lose. How about you lend me a car? Xiao Chen said suddenly. Chen Jinping was stunned. To be honest, it was not that he couldn't lend it to Xiao Chen. But the most important thing was that he had to kill Xiao Chen in the race. If he lent his car to Xiao Chen, there would be a problem. First of all, he didn't want his car to be gone forever. After all, If he wanted to kill Xiao Chun, his car might be destroyed and he would be killed. Second, if Xiao Chun's car was destroyed and he was killed, wouldn't he be suspected if he drove the car he borrowed? Chen Jinping didn't want to do such a strenuous and unrewarding thing. Well, young Master Xiao, you also know that both of my cars have been tricked by Jin Beibei. How can I still have a car? I still have an old sports car. Its performance is not good. It was left by my brother. A dead man's car is so unlucky. Chen Jinping tried to excuse himself. Then forget it. Xiao Chen didn't mean it. However, his question further confirmed Xiao Chen's speculation. The two of them were probably going to kill him. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so reluctant to give up a car. His second thought was the same as that of Chen Jinping. He was afraid that his car would be destroyed, and he would be killed. He suspected that they had done something to the car. Otherwise, why would Chen Jinping be reluctant to give up his brother's broken car? Since he had given up 200,000 yuan. The broken car might not even be worth 200,000 yuan. Cousin-in-law, are you going to race? I want to go too. Jin Beibei heard what Chen Jinping said on the other side of the phone, and shouted with great interest. Lu Zhenming rolled his eyes. If Jin Beibei went, Cheng Minjing would definitely go too. That would be a great opportunity for a date at night. However, the premise was that Xiao Chun had to agree to go. Therefore, he said in a hurry, "Wow, Xiao Chun, I have a car at home. If you don't have one, I can lend it to you. It's a modified one. I also have Jin Beibei's car. With the help of Jin Beibei's luck, we will definitely win," Jin Beibei said. Chen Jinping was a little speechless when he heard that. *CK. Xiao Chen's popularity is pretty good? So many people wanted to borrow his car? Who was that man? Why did Xiao Chen recruit another lackey? Also, that Jin Beibei's car is King mine. Oh, okay. See you tonight, Xiao Chen said to Chen Jinping. After hanging up, Jin Beibei was extremely excited. Cousin-in-law, I want to go too. Take me with you. I like the feeling of speed. Hee. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. Cousin Minjing, cousin-in-law has agreed. Why don't you go with me? Asked Jin Beibei. Well, okay. Seeing that Jin Beibei was going, Cheng Minjing found it inappropriate to refuse. Ha, I'll go too. I'll protect you. If there are any idiots, I'll take care of them for you. Lu Zhenming volunteered. You want to go too? Little Lu, I have a mission for you. If you finish it, I'll take you with me, said Jin Beibei. What is it? Beibei, tell me. I'll do it. Lu Zhenming said in a hurry. Help me maintain Jin Beibei's car. Also check and modify it. We're going to have a race tonight. She has to be in her best condition, said Jin Beibei. After all, maintaining, checking, and modifying the car would cost a lot of time and money. Jin Beibei was not willing to do it. Fortunately, a free coolie had come to her. Well, it's a piece of cake, Lu Zhenming said. Don't worry. Our car will definitely be the best at night. As the few of them were talking, they saw Lin Kuo carrying 5 bowls of noodles over. Her petite figure was completely blocked by the large tray. If one did not look carefully, one would think that the 5 bowls of noodles had floated over from the sky. Let me help you. Xiao Chen stood up in a hurry. He walked over and took over the big tray from Lin's hands. You made so much. Yes. There are 5 of us, right? I made 5 servings. Lin nodded. She looked at Xiao Chen a bit evasively. She was still a bit afraid of Xiao Chen. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.